Alright, yo, what up? We have a massive Boogie documentary to get into, so I don't want to waste any more time. Grab your popcorn, because it's going to be a big one. Alright, yeah, let's just get into it. It's by Willie Mack, by the way. Just an FYI, go check his channel out.
Boogie has had over a decade of lies on this website. It doesn't matter if it's him saying he was clinically diagnosed with bipolar and PTSD, only to say he was never diagnosed years later when questioned. The guy can't even be truthful about a car accident. People would criticize Boogie filming while driving, and that same day Boogie would crash his car into a ditch. People would pile on Boogie for this, so he would conjure up this wild tale about why he's innocent. Thank you guys for making me buckle up and get off my phone. A semi-truck driver in front of me had a stroke. It caused a big pile up that I unfortunately was a part of. Sam and Toki was a subreddit dedicated to checking Boogie's lies, and they found it very odd that there was no news report.
Okay, yeah, so I was never familiar with this. I never actually knew that he got into a car crash, and this was like the domino effect, so to speak, the chain of events that led to his lies being uncovered and like super hardcore investigated. I didn't realize that the catalyst moment for that was actually a car crash. Very interesting to find this out.
On a pileup involving a truck driver who had a stroke. So Boogie posted a ticket he got from the cop to show that it was true. It's funny because it doesn't prove anything. If he took a photo of the actual pileup, then that would be something, but he didn't, I guess. But the code on the ticket was for distracted driving, making it seem like he just drove into a ditch, which is the only picture he posted. Who cares? I can't prove anything either way, but for Boogie, it's code red. He uploads an entire video defending himself, adding so much detail, it has to be a lie.
I totaled my 2005 Buick LeSabre, and there's a lot of rumors surrounding it. So I want to address those rumors and dispel some of those rumors because some of them are so outlandish, I can't believe it. I should have never been on my phone to begin with. Not because it caused the accident, because that's not what caused the accident, but because it's never a good idea. It's called distracted driving, and people have explained to me that distracted driving is just as deadly as drunk driving.
His ticket was for distracted driving, but he's never going to address that.
And if I had been on my phone while driving in this particular instance, in this accident, I certainly would have plowed directly into the back end of this car, and I might have killed myself. But more importantly, I might have killed the people in front of me. The good news is, the car in front of me, nobody got hurt, nobody got injured. They went from the car wreck to a hotel, and then rented their Enterprise rental car in the morning and continued their day. And of course, all that's according to the state trooper. I don't know them personally, but this is what the state trooper told me.
There's no way the trooper told you that. What, did he go home with these people? Did he inform you the next day? It makes no sense. Here's another stupid lie. After Boogie's divorced, he was accused of dating a 20-year-old woman because he was sugar daddying her.
I did hear about this. If he's referring to the same woman, I believe this was a cam girl that was really young, and then also like he spoke about this on the H3H3 podcast when they were still friends. Of course, Boogie's had a fallout with them, just like he's had a fallout with basically everybody that has been involved with professionally, for better or for worse. Yeah, is this the same woman? Because I know that he was on the Sugar Daddy website for a while, and he was like active with multiple different people that have since come forth and talked a lot of shit about their involvement with him.
On brand for the nice guy of YouTube. So Boogie denied this tweeting. Boogie paid that girl. That would work, I guess. Also, treating her nice and being cool and being a good, successful, happy person that she could be attracted to also works. It's a lot cheaper, too. Lucy Fox would upload a video saying she was a cam girl, and that Boogie cried about his problems.
Yeah, this was her.
Was annoying and didn't financially support her enough.
I was pretty much taking care of him every day. You know what I do for a job, then, you know, I have to be at home in order to be on cam. Well, I couldn't do that.
This chick was incredibly young when they first started dating. I think he was talking about her being just of legal age for drinking alcohol during their relationship. Or no, I was that was post their relationship. So he might have been dating her when she was as young as 19, like a literal teenager. Just interesting, you know. Because he would have been 40 at that time. So like 19, 40-year-old, you know? 1940.
Because it would turn into an argument every time I tried to leave. Why are you trying to leave me? You know I need somebody right now. Blah, 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 blah.
She'd end the video by saying,
yeah, that was another element to this. That angle was one that perplexed me as well, because Boogie had a really, my understanding of him was that he was like this commentary YouTuber that was like pretty well respected on the platform. And then I think this chick came forward with this information. The story got broke by some YouTuber who I honestly forgot about. I don't even remember the YouTuber's name that I had first seen the story of. But it painted this picture that he was actually like this complete pathetic loser. And a lot of people, I think, had lost respect for him around this time. If not, honestly, a little bit sooner, but this was definitely like this was one of the big moments in his career that like kind of killed a lot of his professional relationships.
Dating other girls who were younger than her.
And the fact that I know that he's doing this to other people, to other girls that are younger than me, makes me very upset.
Boogie would go on Drama Alert denying everything, framing her as a gold digger, but again, that's the entire accusation. That's the entire point of the sugar daddy site Boogie was using.
You know, she's a girl who's always needed a little help from time to time, you know, and I don't know, I don't know what to say about that. I'm not going to dox her. I'm not going to talk about our personal conversations. I don't feel comfortable doing anything like that. But she's, yeah, I mean, everybody needs money, right?
Keem has a booger in his beard this episode. So.
Yeah, and this angle was really weird too, because bro, she's in her teens and she's a cam girl, and according to her, like her side of the story paints you as a man child. Your side of the story paints her as a girl who needs financial help, who you're helping taking care of, which makes you a sugar daddy, which also still makes you look really pathetic. So like, this was one of those moments really where like his reputation was super tarnished after this. He did not come out of this looking good at all.
So apologies for that.
At the end of the video, she referred to herself as your favorite hooker or something like that. Is she a hooker, or what is she referring to?
That's a joke that I like. There's a bunch of people on the internet that when they found out I dated a girl, they're like, oh, she clearly must be a hooker. She clearly must be doing it for money. She clearly must be trying to get.
He's zooming in on the booger. It's this is kind of
money from him. So I leaned into the meme, which I guess was a huge mistake, but I would always joke. I'd always joke, yeah, I'm banging hookers, I'm having sex with hookers.
Actually.
Which, I don't know, I just leaned into the meme, which is stupid.
Looking back, this is just another lie. It's crazy how he would eventually admit to banging loads of hookers.
I'm a former sex worker escort, and Boogie...
Yeah, this was like the Mike Klum interview that revealed how much of a bombshell this moment in his life was, of like him seeing women on the regular, paying them exorbitant amounts of money, as a 40-year-old, like late 40s. This was when he was in his late 40s. This was like late 2010s. Think like 2017, 2018, I believe, was when he was doing this, paying women that were like in their early 20s, just massive amounts of money, taking them out to Disneyland, just paying for their their crazy life trips, their like bucket list events, for sex, basically. Like, not to speak anything negatively of that profession, more so to speak negatively of Boogie's involvement with it because of how he tried to frame it from their perspective. Like, he tried to put them down, one of them, he tried to put down that girl when she was coming forth with information that made him look, like a man-child. And and like he absolutely freaking was. Like, there's really just no... It's one of those things that makes you kind of like... it boggles the mind, like, how did he honestly try to deny this and try to play the high road,
It was one of my clients.
When this was what he was doing, and he knew it. Like, he knew that this is... It was this bad. Look, he had an account where, to try to, like, boast his accolades, he had his H3H3 appearance as his profile picture. Like, hey, look, I know these guys. Imagine how embarrassing that must have been for Ethan and Hila to figure out, to find this out through the multiple documentaries. Of course, Willie Mack, maybe they watch him, but like the multiple different other people who've covered this. I know they know about this at this point. Imagine how embarrassing that must have been for them to figure this information out. On top of that, look at this profile. 44. This dude was in his early 40s doing this. Beaten and bruised. That's one interesting profile name. People pleaser who needs to be pleased. That's his bio of himself. It's just like when you know you're doing this, why pretend like you're in any way, in any domain of life, the big guy, the macho man, I'm taking care of her, I just got to take care of her. It's like who's really taking care of who, bro,
One from this guy who looked a lot like Boogie.
I took women on vacations, and I took them out to fancy dinners, and I took them to like...
Minus 40. This is like a salary. This is an average, well, at this point, this is poverty wage, but this used to be like, this used to be a 9-to-5, you know what I mean? Just paying this on hookers. Again, nothing, to speak nothing ill of the profession itself. Again, mostly to his involvement with it, with respect to how judgmental he was.
Disneyland and shit.
$40K a year.
Why do I have 2 beds? One for me and one for my hooker. One for me and one for my
Oh
hooker.
god, I saw this clip.
One for me and one for my hooker.
Oh god,
One for
he
me
starts
and one for
warming
my
the bed.
One for me and one for my hooker.
That's
This
a
was not
sight.
just a meme. Eventually, the Reddit would find
No,
out
it
that Boogie
wasn't.
had a Seeking.com account, which again is a sugar daddy website. Boogie
He had
would
many
finally
of
admit on
these,
Reddit that it
yeah.
is true, saying, "I met Lucy Fox on Seeking, but she's
Yeah,
the
that
only
was her
girl I've ever
name.
met on there. Once I discovered the caliber of girl you might meet on there, I was kind of done with it. But unfortunately for Boogie, this website shows that the account was still active. Someone
Yeah,
would call Boogie out on
you
this,
weren't
asking
done
why
with
he was
it,
still
bro.
updating his profile pictures then, and he was like, "Well, I still use it. I might meet someone there." And the guy replied, "So you were pretty much
Bro.
lying when you said you were done with the site."
Yeah,
and Boogie
dude.
says, "No, you misunderstood. I said I was done dating from there, but I still use it to window shop." This Reddit would spell the beginning of the end for Boogie. It was clearly gaining traction and living rent-free in his head. He'd go on to say that they were worse than rapists and Nazis.
I'm going to be the next Darkside Phil. I'm going to be the next Wings of Redemption. I'm going to spend every day online to keep you f***ing busy so you don't do it to somebody else. So bring it.
That's a tactic. Wow.
I want you to know, I think you are the lowest of the low. I think you are the worst of the worst. I think that there are f***ing rapists and Nazis out there
Mr.
who, even though they are rapists and
Mr. Rogers of
Nazis,
YouTube, by the way.
they are more redeemable
Nice
than
guy,
you
by the
because
way.
at least
Nice
they're
guy,
doing
Boogie, by the
something
way.
they f***ing believe in.
Like hating Jews.
They may be
Oh my
pieces of
God.
garbage. They may be pieces of shit. They may harm other people, but at least they believe what they fucking stand for. Even a disgusting piece of shit rapist is better.
And I feel like comments like these were very damning to his public image because, again, they just, no matter how you paint it, no matter how much sympathy you have for him, which is to say, like let's say you're his most ardent fan, or even if you just have a lot of sympathy for victims of criticism, right? Because certainly Boogie is at least he's a victim of that. He is getting criticized in this clip, or he was, and he's responding to it. When your response to criticism of yourself is this vindictive of the people that are criticizing you, of some pretty valid complaints, I think it just doesn't, like, your supporters are going to have a hard time defending you. Yeah, no matter what, this just looks bad for Boogie, for sure.
It's important to remember that Boogie is a coward, so the minute he got heat for this take, he doesn't
Jesus.
own it, he doesn't even walk it back. Instead, he hides behind Christina Grimmie, who was murdered by her stalker.
I'm going to try to clarify this one more time. Tonight on stream, I said something very controversial, and I'm going to stand by it here. But I want to make sure you understand, I'm not talking about internet critics. I'm not talking about trolls. I'm not talking about assholes on Twitter. I'm not talking about anybody who hurts your feelings.
Yes, you were. You're just lying.
I'm talking about the
Wait,
guy
let me
who
read
killed
that
his-
tweet.
We're talking about
Yeah.
anybody who hurts your feelings.
Yes, you were.
I should clarify and say that as a racer, I would rather be Artigan than to deal with these people, and that is my personal assessment. You don't have to agree.
You're just lying.
I'm talking about the guy who killed Christina Grimmie. I'm talking about the guy who tried to kill Gavin and Meg. I'm talking about harassers and stalkers and swatters and people who show up at your front door and try to end your f***ing life. These people are the scum of the f***ing earth. I think they're just as bad as Nazis. I think they're just as bad as rapists. And they make people like me fear for our lives every single day. And these people. And again, you don't.
And this was all before the Frank Castle situation too, right? Because that's a real, like, ironic moment. I don't know if he
Don't have to
covers
like
that in
an
the
opinion.
spot.
But I stand by it.
Bullying Boogie on Reddit is definitely a life sentence. His viewer count fell off in 2019, where he would then put a lot of suicidal implications on his viewers if they stopped watching.
I'm hoping when I get too old, I just get assisted medical suicide rather than go that way than an agonizing death. Yeah, I hear you. I think, and this is my opinion.
I remember this comment.
I think when the time comes, I'm gonna have no problem pulling the trigger, or like once I've fully given up hope.
Jesus
You know,
Christ.
once I've fully given up hope, once I'm fully ready to go, once the internet has forgotten about me and you guys don't need me anymore, and I'm not needed around anymore, and if I haven't found a wife and I haven't had kids or something like that, and I haven't had the life that I wanted for myself, and I'm just miserable and alone, I don't think I'll have any problem pulling the trigger.
This would make people more
You see,
angry.
and of course Willie Mack will have his say, of course. But when you say things like this, I don't think it frames you in any way as the victim to to even your most ardent supporter. Like you kind of come across as baiting reactions, like baiting validation from people saying these kinds of things. Like I think to most people you come across as highly manipulative, and to even people that can be sympathetic to what you're trying to say in these kinds of statements, when you go off like full unhinged mode in your attempts at trying to draw sympathy to yourself. I think even people that want to sympathize with you in that situation naturally feel like dissonance. They feel weirded out by how how abrasive you are with your self-deprecation. Like they can sense how overbearing almost like you are with how just out of pocket your statements are, and they could sense it, and their response to it, whilst not as harsh as many of the people that maybe some of us are used to dealing with when we're just hanging out with strangers, trying to tell them things about our life, and met with reality checks that you just can't come at people like this. And you do that when you're young, if you maybe have like some kind of learning disorder, you don't really know how to approach people, and you overshare with people, and you learn very quickly, oh, you can't really do this. With people like Boogie, I can only assume like he never had so much an interaction. I don't know. Like, has he ever had a moment in real life where he's tried to share personal information about his life with someone else, and he's just been completely shut down by the other person? In such a way where they just like left no room for sympathy and said like, dude, just shut up, I don't care. Because moments like that were real eye-openers for me when I was really young, into sort of the like psyche of the stranger, and how you can't expect everyone or even most people to just care about your plight. And it just, you know, I dare say like it does suck, but you just have to accept that fact that just, you know, not everybody is going to be able to listen to you. Now, that being said, like this is all, I don't know what Boogie had to go through as a child, and I'm not trying to compare my childhood to his, but just some food for thought, like for anybody else out there that might be struggling. It can be very good to have a circle for moments like that, and if you struggle to have a circle, be wary of just reaching out to random strangers, because not everybody's receptive to just being like bombarded with information like that.
Refueling the Reddit more, bringing everything into question, even Boogie's abuse. The examples are Boogie going back and forth between saying his parents molested him and raped him.
I got molested, but not raped by my parents.
I was raped as a kid. It made me who I am.
A rape could be redeemable. My parents raped me. I got molested, but not.
Yeah, see, and I remember, or I shouldn't even say I remember, like Boogie would still say this to this day, so it's not like it's not an open secret or anything, that a lot of these moments were taken from his live stream. I think his live stream was like horrible for his career, because a lot of these moments coming from his live stream, they were moments where like he'd been streaming for hours and hours and hours and hours, and his persona in video format is usually like 10-20 minutes of, you know, maybe 5 to 10 minutes of self-deprecating humor, maybe like a Francis video or a Francis part of a video, and then like style of life video would be the remainder of the video, right? That's the normal video, Boogie video that you can expect. You got like some self-deprecating humor, you have some style of life, and then you have maybe like a part of Francis, and that's like video. That's video Boogie. But then live stream Boogie is you got to find a way to make that extend for like 4 to 6 hours, and oftentimes there'd be very little Francis, if any at all. There'd be an emphasis on actual gameplay instead of like talking about games. So he would just be playing a game. He would be like a streamer. It would be like Boogie as a streamer. But the problem with Boogie as a streamer is the way he talks and tries to facilitate the chat is usually like leaning more into the self-deprecating humor. So instead of the self-deprecating humor being like 50% of the content in a 20-minute video, it's like 90% of the content in a 5-hour stream. And so Boogie's just sitting there talking shit about himself, talking shit about his life, and kind of just like digging a big hole, right? Of like, here's all this personal information about my life that could potentially be damning to me, or really to the story that I'm trying to build about my life in these anecdotes that I'm sharing, because I'm telling you so many snippets about my life that anybody that ever tried to like connect the dots on this stuff and like call me out on my bullshit if I was potentially bullshitting would be able to do that very easily, because I am actually bullshitting, if that makes sense.
I don't think it makes him a liar just because he's using the two words interchangeably. He was a kid, it's weird to challenge him on this. So Boogie would finally break, making a video responding to the Reddit. He'd clear up some claims like begging his chat for car payment donations and addressing some edgy jokes.
Parents still alive by chance?
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
And are your parents still together?
No.
Okay, all right. So maybe I should take point then.
But ignoring his vast catalog,
I remember
of
that
lies,
too, like that, just like weird out of pocket shit, and comments like those would really stoke the dissonance in my brain for like, man, this guy is not the nice guy that everybody thinks he is.
His biggest mistake.
Like this guy, like those were the moments where I was like, oh, Boogie's absolutely a gamer. Like this guy is a gamer through and through. This guy is, he's not Hollywood whatsoever. He will never be that. Yeah.
Mistake was dating a woman that was half his age.
One of the biggest mistakes I think I have ever made, because I dated somebody literally half my age.
In hindsight, he's clearly lying here too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro, it gets way worse than this. Isn't he like 50 now, dating that Desiree chick? Isn't she like literally like in her 20s and he's like 50?
His current girlfriend is 30 years younger than him. This
Yeah,
video
30.
would not change public perception, leading to him deleting
30-year
it.
age gap, Jesus
Boogie would
Christ.
double in his efforts in playing the victim.
I would rather hurt myself than hurt anybody else.
We got 50
Hurting somebody
minutes.
else
I
is
need to get
quite
the
literally
popcorn.
the opposite of who and what I am.
YouTubers would come together to make a support group for Boogie, and they all ended up hating him.
I put together a group chat of 50 YouTubers. I'm talking the
We filled
biggest
it
YouTubers.
to the max.
Think of the biggest YouTubers on the platform. They were in there. Khan was in there. Chad was in there. And our whole goal was to stop Boogie from killing himself. He told everyone over the summer, this last summer, 2019, he was going to kill himself. So we decided that we would save him. Every single one of us took time out of our days, talked to him on the phone for hours.
My time, the time out of my day was, don't listen to these retards in the group chat. Go see a therapist, you fat prick.
Regardless, we spent hours and hours talking to him. And he would not take any of our advice. And it became very clear that this dude wanted attention. He liked people calling him and talking to him on the phone, trying to help.
Yeah. It's rare that I find myself. I'm honestly surprised that I'm finding myself agreeing with GameStar here, but I will say, and this is sad to say too, because it's really harsh, but in all of everything that I've seen about Boogie, 2988, it really does just seem like he's a guy that really wants attention. Through and through, you know, above it all, he is a guy that will chase that bag, and he knows the YouTube game. Of like, if people are talking about you, they're clicking on your shit, you know, you can send them ads, just drive attention, drive controversy. He does it through the Francis videos, but even in his slice of life videos, I'm not even going to say as of late, because it's been his content, it's been his primary content style for like the last 3 to 4 years at this point. It's just, how can I say the most outlandish things about myself and paint my life and myself as the victim of it and in it, as just this constantly catastrophizing, I don't know, it's like circus of nightmares. And yeah, it does seem like he wants to be the victim, or he likes to be the victim.
Help him more than actually fixing the problem, and that's what he was seeking.
At this time, Idem said he was going to content cop Boogie, but he didn't because
There's
Boogie
a-
threatened to off himself if he did.
You're a sick, twisted, manipulated motherfucker that was willing to go and stop criticism on you by threatening to kill yourself. What kind of selfish, manipulating are you? Oh, iDubbbz, if you make a content cop on me, I'm going to kill myself. Like, you literally said that to him. You said that to all of his friends. You said it to every YouTuber you knew, so you would spread the word out to try to stop criticism. That's how bad and twisted and manipulative you are.
Did that work though? I didn't actually know that actually worked. I didn't think that iDubbbz ever had actually planned to make a content cop on Boogie. I just thought that it was like after the Rice Gum content cop had been published, Boogie saw just how big they were getting, and he just decided to preemptively tweet out something along the lines of, gosh, your content cop series is really entertaining and I love to watch it, but honestly, I think I would kill myself if I was ever subject to it, or something like that. He said something where he vague posted really hard, and it was also like sus posting because it came out of nowhere, and it was like talking about him killing himself, but it definitely wasn't. I didn't think that it came out and then like changed the game on how iDubbbz was going to evaluate his content style moving forward.
Boogie spilled his woes to one of the people from the Reddit asking, would you like to know 3 things that nobody knows about my personal life? I dated a 43-year-old woman for 6 months last year. Bro, you're 50, who cares? He says he lost 2 friends for not killing himself, and that he's writing a book. Again, who cares? But this next part is Boogie begging the person to stay away from the Reddit. Get away from that hive mind. They are sad, scary, dangerous people. They have swatted me. I've been swatted twice this month already. Now, the guy from the Reddit takes offense to this because they never encouraged anyone to swat Boogie. So he, of course, leaks it, and Boogie has to change his story. Obviously, I have no way of knowing who swatted me, and I never said that I did. I just said I got swatted twice last month. The Reddit at this point smelled blood in the water, and they looked at the Fayetteville police record, showing that Boogie was swatted 3 times that year, but none of them were in December like he claimed. Boogie being Boogie can't keep his mouth shut, so he starts adding all this intricate detail. No, you see, after the July swatting, the police supposedly don't include it in their blotters. He established it was just harassment, and they don't want the people doing the harassment to get the reward, was my understanding from the cops I've spoken with. The last welfare check they were going to make public was July. Now, one of the visible welfare checks was in November, so this doesn't make sense. Boogie would respond to this saying, must be a mistake on their part. Can you tell me what date it was so I know which November date visit it was, and I could ask them about it? Police records are always public, so this is all fishy. Somebody from the Reddit then decided to email the Fayetteville police about it, and they replied, thank you for your inquiry. No records have ever been purged from our system, and there has never been, nor ever will be, an understanding with
And okay, so if we're gonna talk about like bombshell moments in his career where I feel like everything just kind of blew up in his face, and the wider public at large really looked at him like a different way, as if the whole like prostitution, like paying for sugar girls, sugar babies, didn't turn away the majority of his like family friendly audience and sponsors. I feel like this also kind of cemented it with like how much he was willing to lie about like public facing information, or information that would be public facing if it were real. Like there's a mega thread composed, I think, on his subreddit around this time, due to events like these that were like very easily verifiable things that he would just seem to twist the story about for absolutely zero reason other than, I don't know, like control or over the situation or the narrative, or I don't know. It's like, why lie about things that don't directly benefit you in the way that it didn't really make sense. Like, I don't even know why he would lie about this, you know?
Police are dispatched to omit calls from public record. Okay, so he's finally caught. He has no choice but to own up, right? No, it's Boogie. He has to make an even more elaborate lie. Boy, that hate subreddit's gonna wake up to a real banger this morning. So I've always had a bunch of people tweeting at me for attention, ever since I talked to that one critic this summer. So I took advantage of that and slipped into DMs a few weeks back and filled one guy up with misinformation I knew he would mix in with the truth. I'm a terrible liar, and reading back, it's so crazy.
Yeah, like this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, why did you start flipping, why did you try to do like the double ops, the secret, the triple ops, where you're like talking to the ops, feeding them with lies about yourself? Like, why?
Dated a 43-year-old woman for almost a year. Said I was writing a book, half
Why?
true, and all kinds of other stuff. I was hoping it would keep me busy.
I like that part too. Claimed I dated a 43-year-old woman for almost half a year. Again, I don't think, or I shouldn't say again. Willie Mack made this point, but I agree with him. Who cares? Like, nobody. You're 50, so, or you were around that age as well. Like, I think that's weird to him. I think that's actually very indicative of where his psyche is at. Is like he still views the 20-year-old as the viral, virile, like the prime, like that's the goal. Like, I should be going for 20-year-olds. So the fact that I dated a 43-year-old woman is such an embarrassing thing, right? Right, fellas? And it's like, bro, like, you're 50. This is fucking weird to like the general audience. But then also he just, I like this, like, said I was writing a book, half true, and all, like no, I just don't think anybody cares about this shit, but he's trying to act as though he's like the mastermind behind this big ruse that, again, nobody cares about, and he's like nitpicking all these details that nobody cares about. Like, guys, I hate to like throw in manipulative tactics in and lying advice in these videos, but like, fuck it, I just because it insults me so much in my intelligence reading this shit. Like, if you want to lie, say less, okay? It is so much easier to lie if you keep things vague and stick with other people's stories and just try to like insert into a bunch of truths your lie, rather than like creating these grand narratives where you're like Light Yagami, building like lie on lie on lie on lie on lie, or like Walter White, like where like, oh, so many lies, where you're building a lie on top that builds on top of another lie that builds on top of another lie. Like, no, keep things simple, stay to the truth, and then like insert one lie. Like, it doesn't make any sense to lie about useless shit like this, and create these kinds of narratives that serve you no benefit, right? Nobody's viewing you as like more cool or more Chad because of this information. And if this ever comes out to like, you know, if these ever come out to be lies, which they are, you're that's another thing. He's admitting to it. Like, he's just straight up coming out and admitting that he is a liar, which, like, the second you do that, your credibility becomes like Zilcho, like just like that, because like everybody, it's human psychology. Everybody finds it more difficult to trust somebody who they themselves admits to lying. Because how can you trust them? How can you ever know that what they're saying is honest, right? They've lied before. They've set the precedent. But when you're willing to lie about such useless shit, it especially raises that suspicion where people are, they will then develop a sense of like, well, dude, this guy's willing to argue about anything. He's willing to lie about anything. He's willing to create up a story. He's willing to create a narrative about anything to fit whatever it is that he's trying to speak about. So anytime I'm talking to him, I'm basically just like at his will, at his mercy, at whatever story it is that he wants to sell. It's like, why bother? People like this are very uninteresting to talk to. If Boogie is that in real life, I do not know, because I've never met Boogie 2988.
Sure did. Nobody cares. He's trying to frame himself as a super genius, like he's Yugi Moto laying out these traps.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that I got 2 visits from the cops.
He's trying to be all like Grand Wizard or some shit of this like, I'm Gandalf. I have the truth. Here's my master plan. Gandalf's a horrible example, except I guess Gandalf did have a plan, right? He sailed back in, Gandalf the White, and saved the Alliance. I'm like merging 2 fan bases here. Like, wow. I'm just gonna shut up and play the video.
That's not much of a lie, because I got maybe 4 visits last year. It was actually 3, but what's one more lie? Just shifted the dates around. Had no clue they would latch onto that one thing like they did, though. To prove me wrong, they
of course,
because
you're lying about useless shit. They're gonna latch onto any lie. Had no clue. Didn't realize that they'd latch onto a lie. Like they are trying. Their claim is that you are incredulous. They're trying to point out that you are like not the Mr. Rogers like jolly good guy that you say you are, and they're trying to say that you lie about everything. So they're going to latch on to things that sound suspicious or questionable and call you out and fact check you. Of course. Like when you say you had no clue, either that's another lie, you're trying to like manipulate us again, which I guess that's like 5 head there, or you're just being incredibly stupid, which that's a bad dichotomy to have, right? Either you're lying or you're stupid. Both of those do not look good for you.
And then cross-reference it via police records to try and discredit me. But in the process, they proved I got swatted 3 times last year. Boogie was accused of lying about being swatted twice over the holidays so he could garner sympathy and play victim. Now that he's caught, he continues to play victim by saying he's been doxxed. They provide dates, making it easier to find my address. I mean, they literally violated Reddit's policy by making it easy on a thread to find my home address. It could even get their subreddit shut down. Absolutely insane. What's even crazier is they tried to make it seem like I blamed them for the swat. I didn't. You did in DMs, which is what kicked this whole thing off. There's no other way to read it. He then blames it on his totally real PR friend who gave him the advice to lie.
Yeah, and wait, hold up. Are these even the same?
Thing off.
Yeah, these are the okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'm glad that he established these DMs earlier, because it's like yeah, Boogie, you absolutely like everybody knows that you blamed. Everybody saw this tweet or this message that you sent. Why did this message get public? That's right, because I guess to be fair, like you can be sympathetic of Boogie for this message going public, because this was supposedly a private a message that he was having between somebody from that Reddit that Boogie trusted that he never meant to go public. Right, like Boogie was having a private conversation here. Even still, like this was a weird thing to lie about. It's just weird. It's just weird, man.
There's no other way to read it. He then blamed
I think it's the vindication the vindictiveness, the sense of self-righteousness combined with the sense of like I am in the right here. Let me prove it by lying and like doing everything that I can do to damage myself, my reputation. He is truly the definition of the like self-sabotage man, like his own worst enemy. Like every bit of failure that comes from his life will ultimately be because of his own failure, his own inability to take responsibility, and it's a shame. It's truly just a shame witnessing people like this. We should all feel sorry for him and not make fun of him, because this is a mindfuck situation. He needs help, truthfully.
And his totally real PR friend who gave him the advice to lie about his swatting. This was of course horribly manipulative and something I normally would never do. I have a friend in PR and she recommended me giving the misinformation. I just can't believe how awful it made them look. Doxing me, then spending hours to go through police records to discredit me. Unfortunately for Boogie, everybody isn't as stupid as he thinks they are. This whole thing made the Reddit seem like they were right, and it was now becoming a mainstream opinion that Boogie was a manipulative liar. He'd delete all the tweets and upload a video trying to prove the
it was just now becoming that, like that was now, I guess his subreddit probably was loyal to him for a very long time. The dude had like 3 million subs, right? So I wouldn't be surprised. It was like I said again, like he had normies following him, right? I don't want to say he was a household name, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was like moms and dads, like Barbs and Margs following him. It took a while for these members of his audience to like weed out and find other more jollier, go-luckier YouTubers like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye to gravitate towards, because they had to realize that Boogie was not all they that he was. Boogie was definitely not that kind of family-friendly YouTuber. If nothing else, I think even Boogie would agree with me on that. He was never meant to be in that caliber or like compete with those motherfuckers.
Read it wrong. And how's he do that? You guessed it. He makes the lie even more elaborate. It's now the FBI giving him advice.
I have a friend who works for the FBI, and I asked him how to deal with the online harassment that I get from a certain subreddit, from kiwi farms, from places like that. And
to be fair, so far this could be true. YouTubers they're known to get into contact with law enforcement, especially if they're getting swatted frequently, which I know Boogie said earlier. I mean, I don't doubt that Boogie's been swatted. I wouldn't be surprised if Boogie knew somebody from the FBI.
he told me the only way to fight that stuff back is to expose those people for what they really are. So that's
wait, but I don't think that's true though. I don't believe that someone from the FBI told him to confront people on the internet spreading lies about him. I think that somebody from the FBI probably told him to disengage. I would think. I don't believe Boogie here. This sounds like bullshit.
Video is. I'm going to show you some receipts that I think you should see.
Now, Boogie does do a good job at dispelling some of the rumors existing on the Reddit, like how he was abusive towards his ex-wife.
Supposedly, I made my wife sign an NDA, and they give it again false context, saying that NDAs are signed when there are things to hide, which explains why Dez has been awfully quiet on the relationship or any psychological, not physical, abusive behavior towards her. And yes, I get that you're saying not a wife beater, but you're still accusing me of being emotionally abusive or any other type of abuse. You're being hypocritical. You can't trust those types of hypocrites. And by the way, my ex-wife never signed an NDA, and here she is on her own Twitter account claiming that she never signed an NDA. She can say whatever she wants.
Now, this was already seen as not a very credible claim. The fake swatting, however, that was very viral news. Boogie would ignore every other credible claim on the Reddit.
They've been calling me a liar and a manipulator for a really, really long time, and after talking to my friend at the FBI, after talking to a friend in PR, they made a suggestion, and that was to bait them and see what would happen. So I did. I had a private conversation with somebody I knew who posted on that message board, and I filled it full of tons of misinformation to see what they would grab a hold of. Now, I want to show you these receipts, but someone, probably from that subreddit, hacked into my Twitter today. I don't have access to it.
How convenient. I want to be clear, nobody hacked him. He just gave himself a blank profile pic and deleted a few of the tweets of him lying. He got his Twitter back the day after this video was released. He tweeted, "Got my account
Wait, how
back."
do you know this for sure, though, to be fair? Because, like, are we just saying that it was convenient how these events all lined up, or are we saying for sure we know that he didn't get hacked?
Login history for this account. Apparently they used MobCrush to spoof to get in. I removed my approved apps. Doubt anyone will care about the truth, but here it is. The attached screenshot shows nothing. One IP address. That's it. The company MobCrush would respond to Boogie saying that is their IP address and all it is doing is periodically checking metrics. They clarify, MobCrush takes your privacy seriously. We do not ask for a greater level of access to your social media accounts, greater than we require to work seamlessly. Proving Boogie is just lying again. There's so many layers to this lie.
Someone, probably from that subreddit, hacked into my Twitter today. I don't have access to it. As soon as I do, I'll link this video, I'll link all of the stuff and show you guys. But take my word for it, I told them all kinds of outlandish stuff. I told them that I was writing a book, which is not an entire lie, but I told them that I was swatted twice in December. I told them that that I dated a girl that was 43 years old for the last couple of years because I wanted to see what they would do with this information, and I just wanted to keep them busy. I wanted to bait them based on what my PR person said. They said, give them something to talk about. So I did. What they latched onto, though, I was totally surprised with what they latched on because they incriminated...
I don't believe that any self-respecting PR person that's looking to make a long-lasting relationship with a content creator would honestly give you that advice that you should feed the trolls. I don't believe that. I could see like someone from Kanye West's circle or Ye's circle saying something like that. Somebody like maybe somebody who wants to see you fail. So like maybe Boogie has people that want to see him fail in his corner. But like I don't see someone, if he went to them and paid them money and they were like I don't know. This is probably a profession, so I'm not even going to act like this is something that's weird, but like a content analyst or like some a content media strategist or some shit like that. If he went to someone like that and he was like, hey, please, I'm trying to make my content better, and I have all these people in my comment section saying they hate it and that they hate me, and I feel like they have this misconception of me or whatever that I want to break. I don't think that anybody that he paid money to would seriously give him the advice that he's saying they gave him. which was to expose their lies or like confront it. I feel like this feels like horrible advice. No, like you're just feeding the trolls. I think by addressing it like this, like in the way that he did it, to feed misinformation. Like nobody gave him this advice. Seriously, that had to have been a lie for sure. Even that sounds like too suspicious to believe. Like I can't take that on its face value.
Beautifully.
Wow, Boogie, you're so smart.
If you have respect for these people after me showing you this, then I don't want you to have respect for me because I no longer respect you. Right here in one of the most upvoted posts on this entire subreddit, they show where they both doxed me, where they searched police records involving my address and my home information, and they have literally gone completely batshit insane. I mean, they've been calling me a liar and a manipulator this whole time, and I decided that I would just embrace it. That's what I would do in order to see if I can give them enough rope to hang themselves. They played right into it. I probably should have done this years ago when this harassment first started, but at least I did it now.
Boogie,
he's Yu-Gi-Moto. It's like he said. It's like Willie said. He's Yu-Gi-Moto. Like Boogie's Nikocado avocado. He's always 2 steps ahead, bro. Can't be helped.
Them right. He's just incoherently rambling, willing to say anything to get out of the situation.
But at this point, my career's
over.
No,
he's trying to say anything to save face. He's saying anything for the clout, if you will. He's trying to act like he was better than everyone else. Is more or less what's going on here, if we're being real.
Public perception about me is completely gone, so I had nothing else to lose at this point. If I lose you, one of the last things I had to lose over it, I'm genuinely sorry. I genuinely am. And they're telling me that I broke the law by lying about this stuff, so I might even go to jail. But if it was a way to try to save my career, I hope you can understand why I did it. If it was a chance to save my relationship with you, I hope you understand why I did it. This is completely out of character for me. It fucks me up having to do it.
What are you on about, man? Boogie has spent the last year framing this little Reddit hate group as rapists, Nazis, Christina Grimmie level bad. So Boogie is finally getting what he asked for. In comes Frank Castle. Frank Castle is a professional harasser.
And your obese friend.
Okay, wait, yeah, nice, sick. They, he does cover the Frank Castle shit. This is awesome.
What? Huh? I'm just hanging out on the beach. I'm Chad King. I'm from BuzzFeed. Get away.
And he made it his mission to show up at Boogie's house, letting him know weeks beforehand. I don't agree with that at all, but it is karma.
Yo, straight up, Frank, I'm glad he covered this. Frank, just so we're clear, by the way, Frank Castle is a complete piece of shit. This guy is, confronts people in real life, threatens them. He just, gets in people's faces. Just seems like a not very cool person. I'm not saying I support what he did. I'm just saying that this event being covered, I think, is pivotal to get the full scoop on the Booger. So I'm glad this was covered.
In its purest form. So what's Boogie's rational response? It's to accept death. If you do plan to harm, just leave my friends and my dog out of it.
Yeah, I remember these messages. I remember these DMs.
Frank replies, we should make a video together where I give you a pink belly until your stomach has friction burns.
Frank just shrugs that shit off.
Going to kill Frank.
Castle, did you go to his house? Did you go to Boogie's house?
I'm starting to wish that I had at this point, given the
and then he
panic
fucking
attack
does.
he appears to be having on Twitter. But unfortunately, no, it was not me.
But Frank, you did go down to Dixon Street last night, take a photo, tag me in that photo, and then say, I'm in your town, right?
Yeah. Hey guys, remember SSS Sniper Wolf did this shit to God, what was his name? Oh my goodness. People hate this that I forget this. The Jack, I was gonna say Jacksepticeye, but it wasn't him, so that's why I didn't say Jack, but Jack Films, I think. The SSS Sniper Wolf Jack Films, the way this event transpired, I remember SSS Sniper Wolf being the one that, took the L, the public L, and everybody kind of collectively shamed her for that event. This event, I think most people at the time, like most YouTubers anyways, had respect for Boogie, but I don't remember the public really siding with Boogie, more so just feeling like he was kind of pathetic in the situation, and actually seeing Frank as like a Giga Chad, which was kind of lame, because again, like what Frank did here was absolutely despicable. I will say, like, Boogie was definitely the victim here, and the way he responded to it was laughable and like incorrect, but he was also absolutely like just a pretty clear victim here of some like really shitty behavior that he should never have been a part of to begin with. And that he definitely wasn't provoking or asking for directly. You could say all you want about how Boogie's a terrible person because he's a liar, or whatever. I'm not here to take your ability to call him a liar away from you, but I am here to say that him getting doxxed And more importantly, not to say that doxing is bad, but more importantly than getting doxed, getting straight up like stalked and harassed at his home was not okay, and was really stupid and lame and lame and beta and pussy, if you will. Frank.
Now?
Yes, that was me. I am
Yeah.
in Dixonville right now, and I am in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
All right, well, cool, man. Let me make it very clear. You should be very glad you didn't step on my property, okay? And I highly recommend you don't.
And I think it was because of comments like these that made Boogie's side a lot more difficult to sympathize with, to be fair, to Jack Films. Like, Jack Films didn't fire back with a bunch of threats when he was stalked by SSS Sniper Wolf. He just kind of like said he was concerned, and fully accepted that he was the victim in that situation of a serious threat and that he needed to take it seriously. Whereas Boogie, even though he is the victim here of some serious threats, and those are threats that will be, they're not just empty threats. These are like promises, if you will. Like Frank does actually follow up on these threats. They're not veiled with nothing. Boogie did handle this situation poorly.
It'll be the last decision you make. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your
You just
problem
shouldn't
is,
threaten people
but I
like
have no
this.
problem ending you if you come here.
Not 3 minutes into the interview, and Boogie's already shielding behind his mental health.
Understand that this is what you're doing to me. You pick somebody with post-traumatic stress disorder to target with this type of wrestling. What the fuck are you doing in Fayetteville, Arkansas? I get that this is funny to you. It is not funny to me, Frank. I am mentally ill. I am out of my mind with anxiety. You know that.
The reason why Frank's in the wrong here, Boogie, has nothing to do with your mental health.
Yeah.
Boogie then decides to switch tactics and start playing the tough guy.
Frank, I need you to listen, baby. Okay? And I'm going to hang up and you can say whatever the fuck you want
You're
to.
crying and
I'm not
because
crying,
of the Twitter
Frank. I'm
post.
threatening your life, Frank.
And I'm not
threatening
scared
your
of
life,
what
Frank.
you're
I'm letting you know
saying.
that if you
Fat
step
pussy.
foot on my property, Frank, because you have threatened me, Frank, because you said you would ball gag me, because you said you would rape me, because you said you would come to my house, because you said that there was a reckoning, because you said that there was going to be damage done to me, because you fucking threatened me. Castle Doctrine says I can fucking end you the moment you touch one of my blades of grass.
I don't think it works that way at all, but okay. Frank then...
Yeah, and this was another element to it, too. Frank was a lot more abrasive than Sniper Wolf was, right? I think Sniper Wolf drove to... We don't even necessarily know her mode of transportation, but it can be fairly easily assumed that she maybe, like, took a plane and then drove close to Jax Films' place of residence late at night, took a picture and posted on social media. Frank Hassel confronted Boogie face-to-face at his home when he knew Boogie was there. There was a different level of contact, or different layer of contact for sure, going on here. You could say Boogie was confronted more than Jax Films was.
And starts to repeat Reddit talking points.
I have a personal friend who he's like victimized with his lies and his weird, almost pedophilic behavior that he engages in. It's very strange and very disturbing. He's a 45-year-old man hitting up girls in their late teens and early 20s to come to
I've
his
literally
house.
never done that, Frank. That's a lie. Why are you lying?
I'm telling the truth.
Never done that.
It was one of the biggest mistakes I think I've ever made because I dated somebody literally half my age.
Last time I talked to her, I said I had one first date with a girl who was, 19.
Frank is trying to prove a point.
I don't really know if I have any peace. Boogie is a fat liar with a tendency to dramatize everything and freak out and start crying and making outlandish statements. And I think it's funny as honestly.
I don't give a
I think a lot of people felt the way that Frank just said about Boogie, and they'd felt that way for a long time. And Boogie would never surround himself with people that were like critical of him at all. And I think that like this moment happening, Boogie choosing to stay in this prolonged interaction that's so negative for his public image with honestly this nobody. Like, I'm not even trying to insult Frank anymore. Frank wasn't like this big internet guy back then that he is now with like Sam Hyde and whatnot. He's still not like this big internet guy, right? He's just Frank Castle. You'll never see him on TV, but you will see him occasionally in like crazy alt internet videos that probably won't be shown on YouTube for very long. He's just like that guy that pushes the boundaries, and that's like, okay, he's cool with that place of the internet that he's made for himself. But Boogie was huge. Like, Boogie had millions of subs at this point, and choosing to stay in this prolonged interaction with this guy that has zero intentions of making you look good or painting you in a good light has shown that he has every intention of doing the exact opposite, actually, that he dislikes you and that he will just like blatantly say very nasty things about you and has every intention of like confronting you in real life. Like, you're not supposed to feed the trolls, man. So you, again, like, you can really criticize Boogie here despite being the victim of some stupid threats. You can criticize him for his prolonged his inability to realize how damaging this was to himself, the self-sabotage thing, right? This comes back to that, I guess you could say.
Dog, don't hurt my roommate. I don't give a what
You
happens
think
to
I want
me.
to hurt anybody is really crazy. You are
Hurting me, Frank. You are hurting me, Frank. This
I
hurts.
am doing psychic damage to you, and you are crying.
Yes, psychic damage, but I don't cry over trash like you, buddy. There's nothing you can do to me that hey, Frank, there's nothing you can do to me that ain't already been done, buddy. This is status fucking quo for me.
It gets so unhinged. He becomes...
Yeah, these comments were not good for Boogie either. This is like, again, going back to the, like, he handled the situation very poorly. Like, he is the victim, but you'd be hard pressed to admit that to yourself, that he sounds like the victim here, right? Anybody listening to this from an outside perspective, if you don't know who Boogie 2988 is, or if you just airdropped in on the conversation right here, which is unfair, I suppose, because you could say it's like it's not the full context, but he sounds really unhinged. He sounded really unhinged there, and I think Willie Mack is going to continue to show Boogie's going to say some really unhinged shit here for a second.
Possessed.
Why do you keep threatening to shoot me? This is weird.
Because I'm going to fucking kill you and take pleasure doing it. That's I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna
Yeah,
take
like-
pleasure. Fuck.
Boogie was noticed
Like, what the
Jolly Giant of YouTube, so this was quite shocking to see at the time.
Yeah,
I'd
dude,
rather
totally.
hurt myself than
Exactly. I
hurt
couldn't have said it
anybody
better
else.
myself.
Hurting somebody else is quite literally the opposite of who and what I am.
He's obviously trolling you, so stop
Yeah.
giving him a reaction.
Yes.
Dude,
Oh my god. I just gagged a little bit because I have never agreed with Keemstar so much that it hurts internally. Like, ow, like, ugh. He's a voice of reason here. That's crazy. That is exactly. I could not have said it better myself. I won't. Okay, Keemstar said it perfectly. Ugh, that's so gross to say, but Keemstar literally said it perfectly right there. That I couldn't have said it better myself.
I
kill
don't
somebody
have a
who's
choice
pissing
in
you off.
action. I do have a choice in ending him. So once again, this town is only 10 miles away, 10 miles apart. I'm in the middle of it. You can't be more than 5 miles from me right now. You
I'm like 5 minutes from you at this moment right
then
now.
come here.
Shit.
Come here.
This is so weird because, dude, and again, Boogie is still the victim here. Like, it's important to recognize that, but he's quickly not becoming the victim as he's making open threats to Frank to invite him to come over to his house. Like, now it's much less like, oh, you know, we should have sympathy for victim. It's much less we should have sympathy for Boogie because he's obviously the victim, and now it's quickly turning over to like, okay, wait, Boogie's unhinged. Maybe Boogie's actually like the perpetrator here of something greater. Like, why is he inviting him over to his house to like willingly use this gun? Like, you got to keep it. You got to keep your cool in moments like these. These are the most important moments to keep your cool, Boogs.
Debate on the kill stream, Boogie would immediately open up lying about never being with a hooker.
And don't get me wrong, I'm a really lonely man because all this COVID you can't get a hooker. I have tried. You can't get a hooker during the COVID.
Wow.
And like,
That's
like
untrue.
most of the girls-
Oh, that's crazy.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, you probably can. I honestly wouldn't know.
Boogie's a cuck in the
I forgot that, but by the way, like this, I totally forgot about this whole conversation. That conversation happened like a day or two before the Frank Castle. This happened on that happened on the kill stream, and then this kill stream was Frank Castle confronting Boogie on the internet, you know, before he did it on Drama Alert, and then before he did it in real life. That was like the chronological order of events, was like Frank Castle versus Boogie on the kill stream, then on Drama Alert, then they showed up in real life. And in this kill stream, I'm gonna I swear I didn't pre-watch. I wonder if Willie Mack covers how Boogie was trying to be all like chummy with Frank Castle and play to his try to play to Frank's sensibilities as someone who could just like, I don't know, appreciate someone for being in their presence and just being able to like, hey, you know, whatever beef we had, let's squash it. Let's cut the olive branch or share the olive branch. I don't know what the expression is. Let's try to squash whatever beef. And it felt like Boogie was so caught off guard that Frank was unwilling to do that. Like, Frank, the entire kill stream, if you watch that VOD, I swear, if you have like a pure heart, it's hard. I'm trolling, of course, but like, it's hard to watch that kill stream VOD and not have some sympathy for Boogie because of how awkward the conversation is, as Boogie will say something to try to appease Frank, and Frank will just throw it right in Boogie's face. And of course, it's the kill stream, so like, you know, Ralph has absolutely zero sympathy for anyone. This is like internet blood sports or whatever. This was like a few years back. Everybody on there is incredibly toxic. It's not like a pleasant place to be. But it felt like Boogie had never been in a conversation like that before, where he wasn't able to just garner sympathy from someone, or if not garner sympathy, he wasn't able to just like make them like him, or if put a better way, we could say Boogie wasn't able to convince Frank to just not be a dick, right? And it felt like Boogie was awkward because of that. Like Boogie was out of his element because one person in the room, hyperbolically speaking here, they were proverbially speaking, they were in an online chat room, but because one person in the room was hostile to Boogie just couldn't handle it. He just couldn't hang, man. He was too perturbed by that. That fact crushed him.
There's no other way to phrase it.
That's the thing. Like, I care about the people who hate me. I can't stop.
Why though?
That's such narcissistic fucking bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
The problem is that I care about my haters too much. I just have so much empathy. I just can't. I just can't let it go.
Yeah. See, I feel like comments like this also kind of hurt Boogie. Like, nobody's gonna believe you if you say shit like this. I don't think even celebrities get away with this, except for 2 children. No. People don't generally like have sympathy for the people that they don't know that hate them if you are in a celebrity status, right? Like, why try to pretend like you do, unless again you're trying to be which Boogie is not, by the way. Boogie's not trying to be PC, family friendly, that kind of person on the internet. So I don't know why he tried to feign like he was. Like, why is he trying to jump between those images? But again, I guess we already covered that. Like, this was on the kill stream. This was the first conversation that they had together. He's trying to feign the good guy, he's still trying to like own that Jolly Roger, Mr. Rogers persona.
I mean, if I was lying about that, that's narcissism, but that's the reality.
Boogie, everybody's lying about that. What? Look, somebody's haters. I hope they die. I don't give a about them. Like, why would you care about them?
Yeah, man, I can't fucking.
Come on, Boogie, just tell me.
I really fucking can't, man. I'm sorry. Like, and I get it. If you guys are so different from me, you can't understand that. That's okay. But that is.
Yeah, we just can't relate to you because you're so special.
What I'm saying is, I love you. I care about you. I want you to have a good life.
Yeah, I will say, if that was Frank's goal was to just expose Boogie, if it was to just like, hey, I'm gonna fuck with this guy so much that I show everyone that he can crack too, he did accomplish that goal exceedingly well. Like, he got Boogie 2988 to crack on the internet in a way that people hadn't seen before. That is definitely something Frank Castle did.
I don't give a fuck about you.
That's a goal he accomplished,
Like, I don't
if
like
you will,
you know, I'm not,
for better
I'm not
or for worse,
time with you. I
for
don't
whatever
wanna
that leads him.
Oh, I highly don't recommend that. Man, I live in Arkansas. I don't know what like blue state you're used to.
Frank's like, you're a professional victim and all you do is cry, and Boogie responds with, you're right.
What will you do if Frank Castle walks up to you in public?
Take him out to dinner, man.
Probably start crying or call the cops. He seems like a pussy.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
You're like a professional victim, bro. You're not going to do anything.
There is a real chance.
You're going to call the manager and you're going to waddle away.
Call the manager. All right, Karen. No, motherfucker, listen. Like, I'll probably take you out to dinner. And yeah, I'll probably cry. This is hard for me. I'm not good at this stuff.
Why would you cry though? What's your problem? Why are you so emotional?
Dude, I cry like 4 or 5 times a day. I'm a broken motherfucker.
Why?
I'm a broken motherfucker.
Did you learn these manipulative techniques from your rips?
Now, this might have garnered sympathy before, but at this point, he's pulled the card too many times. Used it for the Reddit, used it for the iDubbbz content cop, he used it for Turkey Tom's video. Boogie's sympathy tactics aren't working against Frank Castle because Frank is a psycho, so Boogie starts lying.
That's really well said. Frank is a psycho, so trying to garner sympathy from him does not work. And it felt like this was a unique situation that Boogie had not been in before. Boogie's not used to being in a room with psychos that he can't garner sympathy from by being vulnerable.
He's like, the last time I was in a fight, I hurt the guy so bad I became a pacifist.
Who did you hit and why did you decide that was okay?
So I was about 12, and these kids jumped me in the local park, and I ended up fighting back, and I ended up hurting one of the kids pretty bad, and that caused a lot of trouble for my family, and I decided
did that make
that's
you
not
like?
fucking worth it.
Did that kind of like dissuade you from fighting physically because you like hurt this guy so bad and you're kind of like
Yeah, you're literally
a dangerous person?
And you're
Like I
hitting
talked about my
people too hard.
depersonalization, it's one of the first times I depersonalized and did something horrible, and that's like why I chose to like be an introvert. It's why I chose to eat myself to death. It's like one of the many reasons I've chosen the life that I've chosen, because like I hurt somebody and didn't have a lot of control over it when I did.
Boogie punching that kid once made him obese. You heard it here first, folks. Boogie would also say he was depressed during COVID and that the only time he broke isolation was to go to a BLM march.
I used to filming videos with my friends. I was used to having my Saturday night parties where we drafted Magic and played video games and fun around. And so that was pretty rough. I don't like being isolated, but I had to stay safe. Eventually, I did break isolation to go to.
I think the problem with the story he just shared was, and it's kind of weird to say this, but like quite frankly, he shared too much of it. It's believable when someone shares parts about their past, especially like traumatic experiences. It's kind of like on its face believable, because vulnerability is it's like a shared human emotion that we all feel. When someone's vulnerable around you, you kind of inherently want to hear them, or at the very least, most people do experience a desire to hear the other person out in those situations. But Boogie started saying things there where he was like, oh, and because of this event in my past, that's why that's why I chose to eat myself, into this situation I'm in. Once you start saying like, because of this vulnerable experience that I had, that is why I am the way I am, that explains all that ails me, I think that's where a lot of people's sympathy goes out the window. When people hear you say a compelling narrative about your life, but then at the end of it, the narrative stops with, and so then I gave up and stopped trying. People lose a lot of they lose a lot of sympathy for you, I think, in most circumstances. We don't want to see people just like give up, who wants to help the guy that can't even help themselves? You know what I mean?
Go to a BLM march just to film
Oh,
it.
wait. Hold on, Boogie.
Yeah,
Wait. What do you mean you got up to go to a BLM march? What happened with that?
Yeah. So there's a BLM march on the Fayetteville Square, and like I originally wasn't very interested, but there was a bunch of violence that went down at the Bentonville one. Like apparently somebody threw a water bottle at a cop, and the cops fired rubber bullets, and they arrested a bunch of people and gas cannons through the crowd. And I was like, man, as a documentarian, as somebody who knows how to run a camera, I should be there to get footage if shit goes bad. And like also, hey, BLM, whatever. I guess it's as long as and also if there's fucking looting going on, if this turns fucking bad, I want that footage too. Like let's call out the bad actors, let's call out the bad motherfuckers. I don't care if you're white or black, short or tall, cop or not. If you pull shit, I wanted to get it on camera.
Boogie's having panic attacks over Frank, but in the meantime, Boogie's pulling off citizen arrest during BLM riots. I knew he was lying the minute he said he marched. This guy can't mow his own lawn. One moment sticks out to me though, and it's that Frank promised that this would be the worst day of Boogie's life.
The only thing you need to know
Yeah, that I guess I kind of I didn't miss that point, but I'm going to piggyback off of it because I didn't really address it earlier. It does further cement the like, what the fuck is he talking about? He's like trying to tell us this chronological order of events that he went through as to like why he was an isolationist during COVID, and then what brought him out of it. And like, okay, wait, really? You were supposed to believe that you even did this? Like, were you really there? Like, and the way that he straddled the line, the way he like rode the fence there. Like, I went to a BLM rally, but it wasn't because I was in support of the actors there, except I am in support of their cause. But except in the event of them looting or rioting, I obviously don't support that. And that was the real reason I was there, was to watch out for those guys and to record it. It's just like, what are you saying? Like what? Did this even happen?
You're not going to win, and it's going to be the worst day of your life.
Yeah, okay. Buddy,
it's going to be fucked.
A day after the Drama Alert interview, Frank would show up at Boogie's house.
Yeah. I remember. So it was the kill stream, then it was the Drama Alert interview, and then it was just straight up he showed up. Like he said, I'm gonna show up at some random time to your house. You won't know where. You'll know where because it'll be at your house. But he's like, you won't know when, but at some point in your life, I'm gonna show up, and it's gonna be the scariest day of your life. And then literally the next day, he did that.
What's the deal? Where's the gun at, you fat?
All Boogie has to do is not open the door. Just don't engage
Yes.
for once in your life.
Yes.
But Boogie can't help himself.
Yeah, on 3, pull the trigger.
Okay. Is this what I have to do?
You fat. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
He
Is this
just ran
real?
out.
Is this guy gonna kill me?
Yes. He's here to look at the air conditioner, Sam. Is this what I have to
You're
do? Is this what I have
Are you
to
gonna
do?
shoot me in your doorway?
Yes.
Fucking deranged.
In about 30 seconds, I'm gonna fire a warning shot.
Fire it now. Fire the warning shot now.
And he does it. Why did he even say that? Why did he even, like... So, again, because I want this to be somewhat educational. Under no circumstance you're never taught in firearms training and concealed carry training. No firearms specialist or expert will ever tell you to do things like fire a warning shot. They will tell you to exercise multiple warnings to someone that you do have the means to defend yourself, and that you will do that. But at some point, you do have to stand your ground. No, there's no such thing as a warning shot, though. This is like a complete meme. Why the fuck did he feel compelled to do this? And the answer is because Frank told him to. And Boogie is like, it's like Willie said, like he's willed into engagements. He can't help himself.
Is this what we have to do? I'm asking you to leave, Sam.
Sam?
Cameron, I don't know your fucking name. I'm asking you to leave. I'm asking you to leave, man. Please don't make me do this.
Boogie, why would you have to shoot him? Just stay inside. You never go outside anyway. The poor air conditioning guy is caught in between all of this.
Please don't make me do this.
Will you just leave this property so I can leave?
Why's this guy got a gun?
I'm just here looking at
Because I feel threatened.
This guy's about to kill somebody right in front of you.
Why are you on his property?
I'll shoot to wound. Sam, please don't make me.
Who's Sam?
I don't know.
Sam is referring to Sam and Toki, Boogie's hate Reddit. He's seeing the Reddit in place of Frank Hassel, like a human representation. Boogie would get a felony for discharging a firearm into the air, giving Frank Hassel exactly what he wanted.
This motherfucker
Yes.
said
Yes,
to me,
that's the thing. Like, I don't know if... Because, like, from Frank's perspective, he was just a troll, right? And when you're a troll, you're kind of like the equivalent of... well, in the social situation, you're like the monkey flinging shit at the man. And the man just needs to, like... He's got to realize, like, whatever I do, I can't fling shit back at him. Like, that is the biggest mistake I can make, right? Whatever I got to do, be it move away or, like, put the monkey down, God forbid, you know, vegan, by the way, don't do that. You definitely don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're engaging with the monkey. You're like on the monkey's level, and like Boogie unfortunately found himself in that exact situation.
Boogie, I'm coming to your house one day, and when I do, it's going to be the worst day of your life. It's going to be worse than the day your parents abused you. That's what this guy said to me, right?
Yeah.
And then this motherfucker went on to harass me. He ended up showing up at my house, and you know what? He was right. He made 100% good on his threat. It is now officially the worst day of my life. It's now officially the
yeah, but it's like, and I love his wording too, because it doesn't allow for any responsibility to be taken. But it's like, yeah, but this is kind of your fault though, you know, like then he showed up at your house, but then you answered the door and like you chose to engage with him. It's like at a certain point, again, yes, Boogie is the victim here, but he handled the situation very poorly. So poorly that it does make you like start to wonder, like, did Boogie enjoy engaging with that? You know, like, did Boogie see content? You know, like, was there some degree of like Boogie wanted this to happen as well, or whatever? Like, you have to suspend your belief a little bit that Boogie was a complete victim in that situation when he starts saying things on the internet like, "And I will kill you, and I'll take pleasure in doing it." You know, like how sincere are your words that you don't like what's happening when that's what we can find of your catalog, you know? It doesn't really make sense.
I've ever been, even if you include my parents. It's the most fucked up thing anyone has ever done me.
Boogie's victim status would hit all new heights, and to be fair, he is a victim here, just nobody cares anymore. January of 2021, Boogie would post a video titled, "I am finally rich," bragging about his crypto wealth.
Did something very stupid that I do not recommend anyone else ever do. But it worked. I basically took every dime I had in liquid funds and invested it in a huge gamble. And I did this at the advice of my friend Jesse Ridgway McJuggernuggets, who guaranteed that money, saying that if the money disappeared, he would help take care of me and help me rebuild. Unfortunately, the money didn't disappear. And my thought process at the time was, look, even if it does disappear, I can always just go ahead through with my stupid plans.
By a stupid plan, he means Alt F4ing his life.
At the end of the day, making these videos has never been about the money. It's never been about the views. Never feel pressured to get one of those memberships down below. Never feel pressured to subscribe on Twitch. Never feel pressured to make a donation or interact with one of my sponsors. Never feel pressured to buy a t-shirt.
1 year later, the crypto market would crash and Boogie would upload a video titled, "I need your help," admitting that he lost everything.
Well, this is a video I've dreaded making, but it's time. So I'm asking for your help as we head into the holiday season. The biggest issue is that I had a nice big nest egg. I took some financial advice from a friend, and I'm not pointing fingers necessarily. I took the advice, but I put my money in the crypto market in the wrong section, and I pretty much lost most of everything. If you click on videos you like, and you watch them to the end, and you drop a like, and you leave a comment, and you share it with friends, and you click the notifications, and you do the YouTube stuff, you're doing plenty. If that's all you want to do, if that's all you can do, I love you to death. You mean everything to me, right? There's a second group of people who might find themselves able to do a little more, and if you're one of those people, I'm asking for your help today too. Do you like the t-shirts I have? This one's not in the merch lane shop yet, but there's several, and I'm making new designs all the time. And if you like a t-shirt, buy a t-shirt. I make like a $9 profit off of a $25 purchase. If you don't want to buy something from me directly, you can shop with one of my sponsors. That's always an option as well. If you like a product I'm selling, get involved with a sponsor, shop through them, use my code. If you're in a position where you only have like $1 or $5, you can super chat that.
Crypto would bounce back to all new heights 2 years later, but he would say he only has 8K in ETH as of March, so I guess he sold most of it. In 2022, a few weeks after Boogie announced he was broke, he would announce his cancer diagnosis. Hey, debated not sharing this, but I got my official diagnosis today, so why not? I do in fact have a type of blood cancer called polycythemia vera. It's extremely slow moving, and many people live for decades. No big deal. He uploaded a video as well.
I often say though, every day that I wake up is a good day. It's the one day I don't wake up, that sucks. So I've been debating for a while to talk to you guys about this, but I hope it brings you guys a little bit of clarity about some of the videos I've made in the last month or so. Because turns out I got a rare blood cancer called polycythemia vera.
One point that comes off as wildly malicious is Boogie saying the cancer is the reason he had to upload that embarrassing video begging for money.
I've known about this for a little over 6 weeks. That it was a probability, though I just got my official diagnosis. I hope it gives you an idea of why I've been so worried about my money, why I've been so worried about my career, why I've been so worried about my future. Maybe I should have led with this before I asked people to watch my videos or become channel members or whatever. I don't know. This felt very private at the time.
He's lying with a smile on his face. You probably already know that Boogie was recently caught for faking cancer. He was never diagnosed. He's lying here for the same reason he was lying about his swatting. For the same reason he lied about his car accident. He was embarrassed. Embarrassed of being made fun of for his video saying he was broke.
What do we say to the god of death? Not today, motherfucker. Not today. And before I leave you, I want to make it very clear. I'm not asking for donations. I'm not asking for channel memberships. I'm not asking you to check out a sponsor. I'm not asking you to buy a shirt.
Bro, yes you are. His disease and health would become an even more core part of his personality.
On top of that, I was allergic to trees. I was allergic to cut grass. I was allergic to flower pollen. I was allergic to bees. I was allergic to everything. And so several times a year, I would just stop breathing.
He used as an excuse to promote a pump and dump crypto scam called Fatty Coin.
Fatty for life.
That's right. I remember this.
Boogie can't get his...
And he used his girlfriend. You can even see it. He used his like 22-year-old girlfriend. 50-year-old man, by the way. He used his like 22-year-old girlfriend to promote it. Or I should say he used her body to promote it.
Fans to buy t-shirts, maybe he could scam them.
I don't think it's a pump and dump. It is a meme coin.
It's literally from a thing called Pump.fun. What are you talking about?
And then he tried to lie about it to CoffeeZilla, the dude that like literally investigates this stuff for a living.
Pump.fun wasn't until today.
I told you in DMs not to do this. You came to me because you were about to launch this coin.
It was launched. You told me after my first week. I literally said to you, the question before that was like, hey man, can we talk real quick? You said, don't do it. I said, I have some questions. You said, don't do it. But at that point, today, it was already too late. The first tweet was out. And
no. There was no contract. There was no video out. The
money's already spent.
That was, dude, that was another, like, it just made no sense. It became incredible. It's like impossible to believe anything he says because you can see the things that he's doing ahead of time to manipulate the public's opinion based on accounts from other people. The CoffeeZilla thing was like the best example of this. The CoffeeZilla thing was a situation where Boogie simultaneously tried to push a fun, a pump and dump crypto scam on his audience and get the okay from the guy that does the crypto scam investigation thing. The guy, like CoffeeZilla is the guy. He tried to get the approval of CoffeeZilla to do so. Well, of course, that only stoked CoffeeZilla into investigating the matter. And of course, CoffeeZilla has any amount of integrity whatsoever for his account. He doesn't want to like go down with the sinking ship of Boogie. Because he has no allegiance to Boogie. So like when he sees that Boogie's doing this, he's like, no, Boogie, you're definitely trying to scam your audience here. What the fuck? Don't do this. And then Boogie's like, oh, well, I'm going to do it anyways, by the way. It's like, why would you do this, Boogie? You're just shooting yourself in the foot. Your plays make no sense, my fella. You are just not doing anything right. Nothing helps you out. You're like the reverse Light Yagami. You're like the guy that schemes and then like consistently. You're like the guy that cheats on the test but seems to get every single answer wrong. It doesn't make any sense what you're doing. Your plays make no sense.
I used it to pay hey, Des.
Immediately hiding behind the cancer.
If I'm being genuine with you, and I do want to be genuine with you and the rest of the internet, I'm in pretty dire need of money. I have a lot of medical.
Yes, and when the ship comes like crashing down, play the victim. Like when the light Yagami chess plays, the 0 IQ reverse light Yagami, the Nega Yagami, the anti Yagami, the Nega Yagami. I like that. The Nega Yagami, like Nega Man, Mega Man. I don't know if Nega Man is a thing. Dr. Eggman Nega. I feel like there was like an anti version of someone called Nega their name. I don't know if I'm like, somebody in the comments can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I feel like Boogie is very much that for Light Yagami. He's that guy that like that misinforming his audience, the Reddit misinforming, the big ruse. That was something I get the vibe that he was like probably thinking on that for like nights, right? Like he was probably genuinely writing in his like journal on that shit of like, oh dude, and I told him this lie today and that lie today, not realizing that like, bro, you're saying things on the internet. People are recording what you're saying. Nobody's gonna forget any of this, and everybody's going to line all this shit eventually. And when it's found out that you're just full of shit, people are going to say you're full of shit. Like, did it make any sense what he was doing? None of his plays make any sense. They're like, again, they aren't calculated at all.
Bills, and I'm fighting cancer, and I very much like not to fuck around with my healthcare too much, but that's something I would genuinely have to consider.
There's zero accountability from Boogie. He ends the call so salty.
I hope you get better. I hope you get better with your sickness. And
yeah, it's cancer, man. People don't generally.
I remember that comment.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
on Twitter, Boogie,
he's just like, yeah. Even CoffeeZilla was caught off guard by that at the end. There, he's just like, hey, by the way, CoffeeZilla was like, for what it's worth, even though you are scamming the shit out of your audience, even though you're scamming them, you say you're doing it because of cancer. Hey, sorry to hear about your cancer. And Boogie's like, yeah, well, it's cancer. People don't get better from that.
The cancer is effing expensive. I'm at the beginning stages and I can't afford it. When this inevitably turns into leukemia, I'll be utterly effed. We talked about it on the podcast, but I'm a tired man. Tired of being mentally ill. Tired of being sick. Tired of being old. Tired of being bullied. Tired of being abused.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. He has this very like, it's like such a insane defeatist mentality. This obsession with seeing his own downfall. Like the only person that has tickets to Boogie's downfall. I guess there's two kinds of people. He does have haters, so undoubtedly his haters have tickets to his downfall. But then obviously like Boogie himself, right? Like nobody's questioning this. Boogie, you very clearly, and he would say it about himself too, which then means that I'm not actually saying anything profound here. But Boogie definitely hates himself and wants to see his own downfall. I think that's the main thing that I'm trying to say here. That's the novel thing. Is I feel like above it all, Boogie genuinely wants to see his own downfall.
Tired of hating myself. I'm so old and exhausted that the cancer diagnosis seems like a gift, and I am grateful for it.
Having a bad cancer day. I've not had anybody ever say that to me before, so I'm not a reactor.
It was funny, right? You had cancer day?
I just don't feel very good.
All right. Well, I hope you feel better. I do.
Well, I won't.
So like what do we need, Boogie? You need to swim a lap. Like you need a dog to lick you in the face. Like we need some vibe. What we got to get from you?
I need to not have cancer.
Holy shit, he did it. Boogie lying about cancer would come around in a truly poetic way. Keemstar was fighting with the other podcast members on Lolcow Live, and Boogie would try and keep the team together. Boogie would spend the next day trying to keep Wings on board.
What the fuck are you doing?
Streaming?
I know, I'm talking about with the show, obviously.
You realize the show's going to crash without Keem, right?
Sure, and why not get paid until it does?
Because the paychecks aren't going to be coming.
Let's imagine it's half as much next month. That's $1,500. I need it. You don't need it? Yeah, Keemstar might have cut the paycheck in half. You're the one who made sure it went to fucking zero. So yes, I'm gonna stay mad at you. Show the up to work tomorrow. Have a pair of balls.
Boogie's like, Wings, I don't care what happens. I need that bag. I will put my girl on OnlyFans if I have to.
You have an opportunity to decide whether or not you're gonna bite or get bitten. Bite, motherfucker. Bite. That's the show. It's a goddamn dogfight. That's what the internet is. I'm gonna launch crypto coins. I'm gonna launch Desi's OnlyFans. I'm gonna suck cocaine off of Nazi's asshole if I have to. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck it takes to survive in this environment.
The next stream would come around, and the storyline is Boogie kept the band together.
Dude, I've got to say, that version of Boogie needs to come out more, for better or for worse. I think that guy, that Boogie, is content, and if Boogie leans into that guy more and just drops every like visage of trying to be a nice guy, I think he can do it. I think he could be very successful on YouTube. If Boogie goes from like Jolly Roger, Mr. Rogers to Kingpin, and he'd be so good at doing pink. But the thing is, Kingpin from Spider-Man was actually physically strong. I don't really get the vibe, like, he lost to Wings of Redemption. I don't get the vibe that Boogie is, like, a physically strong guy. But some very large, like, super villain or just villain, Boogie gives me those vibes. Like a Bond villain, maybe. Boogie could be a Bond villain. He could play that role really well. He would just need to change a lot of elements of his persona, but he could do it. He's got the inkling here, is what I'm trying to say. The way he was just talking to Wings of Redemption X, he's got it. He could do it. He just needs to lean into it more. He could do it, though.
Then Destiny comes out of nowhere and exposes Boogie for faking cancer.
2 years ago, you said that you had a cancer diagnosis, but now you just said now they're
Dude,
doing
Destiny just comes out of literally fucking nowhere. Like, I don't know. They've had like a handful of interactions, maybe just like 3. Maybe they've had 3 interactions total. And Destiny comes out and just like is probably the 3rd big bombshell of Boogie's career in discovering and making it public that Boogie is kind of not entirely saying the full truth about his having polycythemia vera, because it turns out that he's actually got he doesn't have a diagnosis for it. He just has I think he has like early warning stages. Maybe we'll hear it here.
biopsy.
Confirmation.
Is this LSMD? Are we treating a blood cancer without actually confirming it yet? For 2 years, you've been having a cancer treatment without confirming there's actually cancer there.
Wings asked why Boogie won't just show the diagnosis. And
Boogie's basically getting treatment for a cancer that he doesn't have, that he only has like early warning signs for, and he doesn't have a formal diagnosis from a doctor for either.
It's the only private thing he has left in his life.
I just don't understand why you won't just go grab a piece of paper and just disprove them. Like,
Because I don't have
all these
enough
feelings.
time. This is the one last thing I have left. You motherfuckers were in my marriage. You guys were in everything else. You're in every aspect of my life. Let me have one goddamn thing.
You're trying to tell me.
Let me have cancer.
Let me have, yeah. That's when you're, again, it's like when you could dispel these notions so easily by just going and showing them your medical records, right? And people started putting money up for it too. And it doesn't need to be all of your medical records. It literally just needs to be a doctor's diagnosis. You could even blur out the doctor's name. That there's like polycythemia vera on some kind of medical sheet. I think most people would take his word for it. And the fact that he's unwilling to do that when offered money, and that his primary excuse for not wanting to do that is go fuck yourself or let me have this. It just comes across as very sussy and weird, you know?
Then offers $5,000 if Boogie just shows his diagnosis. Remember, this cancer costs so much that Boogie had to crypto scam his audience. And Boogie says no.
If Boogie can
And he's saying no to money.
Boogie can confirm that he has polycythemia vera, and he actually has like a doctor confirmation of the blood cancer. I'll throw $5,000 towards his medical treatment.
This was a really good line of attack, in my opinion, because again, it really, I don't know if Destiny even knew about this, but like it hits Boogie exactly where Boogie hurts. Boogie's constantly bitching about how he doesn't have funds to pay for his treatments. So by offering to throw money towards those treatments, and all he has to do is prove that he has it, it's so compelling, I think, to the viewer. Nobody can watch this and deny that Boogie looks bad here, right? Even his most ardent fan. It's like, well, come on, Boogie, at this point, like, why not? Why not? It would help you out, you know? Seemingly.
Blood right now.
And then he just says, go fuck yourself.
Hey, you need money. You're not seeing my medical records for 20, not for 50. You're not seeing my medical records.
And it's just like, Jesus, not for 50K. For 50K, you could prove that you have cancer to the world, which would instantly garner you more sympathy, which is, I mean, fuck, dude, I hate to say it again, because it's so fucking obvious, but you're Boogie 298. You're Boogie 2988. Like, you do love sympathy, right? And then B, you're always complaining about not having money, and here's like a fat stack just to go get a piece of paper. You wouldn't even have to do work. What the fuck?
Just want people to remember in the future then, when Boogie says, I have to do XYZ scam to raise money because my medical bills are hurting so much, he can speak publicly about his medical issues to scam his scam to raise money, but he can't take $5,000 to privately confirm a diagnosis that he already publicly said.
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense, but
Exactly.
Even I have a fucking limit.
This is not the first time Boogie's been accused of faking cancer, but when it's come up in the past, Boogie's decided to publicly shame them.
I see the rumor mills creeping back up again. The same rumor mill that's accused me of God knows what else. And this time they've decided that I am faking my cancer diagnosis. And whereas I know that those people know better, I know that nobody's that fucking stupid, it's still going to spread like wildfire. So number one, if you're that kind of person, fucking stop. I get it's fun to LARP about me. I get it's fun to pretend that I'm a piece of shit. And I get that I made my mistakes in the past.
I'm really not trying to laugh or like treat this situation insensitively, but it's only because I have greater insight about how the internet works, and it genuinely confuses me as to how this guy Boogie doesn't, when he has like I feel like I'm not saying I do, but it feels like I understand the internet more than him. Because in this situation, I at least know that by asking people on the internet not to do something, you are creating a like Streisand effect. Like they will want to do it more. By asking people on the internet, hey, stop. Yeah, like, so the rumor mill is decided. I am faking my cancer diagnosis. Please let me address this one and only time. Guys, stop making up fake rumors about me not actually having cancer. By saying that, you are inviting more fake rumors about how you have no cancer diagnosis. You are actually inviting them by you're feeding the trolls. Again, that it's such a basic internet rule. I don't understand how he either A, doesn't know it, or B, is too he doesn't have enough self-control or discipline to stop himself in these situations from giving in to the temptation to respond, which is equally concerning given how long he's been on the internet and how much of a career he has about it.
Cancer's not something, pretending that I'm lying about cancer for clout and views is a fucked up thing to do. Get help. I get that it's fun to pretend.
But Boogie, here's the thing. You are correct that it is a fucked up thing to joke about that kind of thing. But the thing is, you're supposed to not... Oh, shit, I didn't kill it. Oh, I didn't kill it. Damn. Okay.
I get that it's fun to dunk on me and try to ruin my life. I get it. But f you if you're doing that. I don't want to let you this time. I've let you every other time. I didn't give a f what you had to say. But cancer's not a thing that we're going to joke about, okay? Cancer's not a thing that we're going to pretend I'm lying about. That's not a thing we're going to do.
This is so bad.
No interest.
Yeah, but it is, though, because, like, when you say when you act like this on the internet, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work, man. You can't do this to the trolls. The trolls will never let you win in this environment. I feel like I know this and he doesn't. I don't know. It's weird.
Shred of dignity I have left in the world.
Wait, you got on your knees and mooed on camera.
I would rather do that. I would rather do that than hand over my medical records, y'all.
I'm sorry. It was fucking stupid of me to go on Rich's fucking show and give away the fucking storyline. I'm a fucking attention hog piece of shit.
Boogie's entire defense would hinge
He
on
actually
the
did that. I didn't realize.
Private. The man used his diagnosis to guilt T-shirt sales, but remember, it's private.
I'm still trying to find it in my portal right now. I'm a little dissociative, so it's a little difficult, but I will have it.
You can take all your time.
Wait,
sure,
wait, time out. Let me understand this. All right, you have cancer and you're in your portal and you can't find that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the diagnosis page.
He's like Velma from Scooby-Doo. Oh, I just can't find my cancer. Where's my cancer?
I'm trying to find that screen right now.
Okay, let's go.
You're still never going to see it, but I just want to confirm it for myself.
You want to confirm
You'll confirm it for yourself. Yeah, it's like, bro. And, you know, I want to highlight, going back to something I said earlier, this is a streamed moment, right? Why did Boogie start doing live shows again? He is horrible in this environment. I can't believe I just got freaking wiped out there. This is not your best format, my friend. You are not good at live shows. You always end up saying something incredibly foolish. Why are you putting yourself in this situation?
I want to confirm if you've got cancer for yourself.
Yeah. I want to make sure I know that it's there, and it's a simple matter of fucking emailing it to one of you guys, and you'll never fucking see it.
Hold on.
He's trying to confirm if he's got the cancer.
So you can't find it? You can't find it?
Yes, I mean I can if I had the wherewithal right now.
You can't find it.
I mean, obviously, I can't find the page.
I feel like this is a somewhat understandable thing, though. Like, he's obviously flustered about the situation. He has 3 people beating down his neck. Not just 3 people. He has the entire internet beating down his neck to produce this. And he's already told us that he doesn't plan to like. It's clear, and this is where Destiny really does come in and like dispel this. Like, he does have a doctor telling him information about this. That all seems very believable to most people. I think it does seem like Boogie has the early warning signs of this virus. He just doesn't have the full-on thing like he's claiming he does. He doesn't have a formal diagnosis for it.
I can't find a page with all of my symptoms.
They then bring on some big titty lady to bribe Boogie with tickets to Disney if he just shows his diagnosis.
If you can provide those papers, I will personally fly you out to Florida.
I didn't actually know
Pay for your
this.
hotel, or you can stay in my home, and I will take you to Disney.
I did not know this part. That's funny as fuck.
Money to pay for tests and shit. Can I get the cash equivalent?
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Cough it up.
Bro, I did not know that happened, by the way. That's funny as shit.
Why would you take this offer and not take the $5,000?
I'm not taking either. I just wanted to know if I could have the cash equivalent.
Oh.
Again, like, why? It's the live format. He is so bad in this situation. He always ends up tying the noose and choking himself. Like, why is he saying any of this? Why would you don't sound smart saying this. You don't sound smart like, oh, I'm lay-rusing them. Like, no, you look like a dipshit. Why are you, if they're offering you money to prove something that you can very easily prove, first of all, you look bad in that situation saying no, period, right? There's no cool way to say no. It's just like, come on, dude, like, show it at this point. Like, it doesn't make sense. At this point, you should just take the cash. If you're simultaneously complaining about the cash, not having the cash to pay for it, like, you really are writing yourself in a rope in this. You're writing yourself in the worst situation possible by not giving on one of those. Like, either produce medical records or quit bitching about not having enough money to produce them, to pay for it, right? Don't bitch about not having the money to pay for something, and then when people are like, oh yeah, hey, if you can prove that you have this thing, then we'll pay for it. Don't bitch about not having money for it. Or yeah, anyways,
Keem finally asks, is it possible that Boogie just jumped the gun on this diagnosis? And Boogie says it's possible.
Is it possible that next time you see your doctor, you just come out and say, do I have cancer? And he says, well, no, it could turn into cancer. Is that possible?
I guess that's possible. So I would have a really strong case for malpractice.
Boogie boldface lies to the camera.
Yeah, so he just straight up admits, no, he doesn't boldface lie. He admits on camera, finally, that everything else was a lie, that he did, in fact, have cancer this entire time. Or, sorry, didn't have cancer this entire time, that he never had a formal diagnosis from a doctor.
Looking at the diagnosis right here, but I won't show you.
Are you still looking for the proof?
No, I'm looking right at it.
You're looking at the proof.
Oh, shit. No, wait, hold up. Did I misunderstand the situation?
Say, do I have cancer? And he says, well, no, it could turn into cancer. Is that possible?
I guess that's possible.
Then he did admit. He's admitting right here that the doctor never gave him a formal diagnosis.
I would have a really strong case for malpractice.
Boogie boldface lies to the camera. I'm looking at the
okay. I missed that part. Sorry.
Diagnosis
because then by throwing that bit in there at the end about the malpractice, what he's saying is that it would all be on the doctor, that it's not actually him misunderstanding what the doctor said. It's the doctor giving him information in one of their checkups and then giving him different information on a different one of their checkups. That's what he's implying here.
Here, but I won't show you.
Are you still looking for the proof?
No, I'm looking right at it.
You're looking at the proof.
Yep.
Zombie tsunami.
Then show us.
Nope.
Yeah, and this just also...
The bounty to just show the diagnosis goes up to 15, then 25K, and he still refuses.
Keem, you've got to use carrot and stick. What bonus would you pay him to do that?
There is no... Oh, I've already been offered $10,000 plus a free trip to Disney World, and the answer is...
Well, nobody likes Disney World. $10,000.
I love Disney World.
It was $5,000.
It's up to 15,000 total.
15 grand? Yep. Do it.
No.
He's going to pay you $15,000 to look like an asshole in front of his entire audience, and you're saying no.
Yep. This is too much, man. I don't know if you guys can understand.
It doesn't make any sense to say it's too much. It's too little is what you should be saying about the price tag. What do you mean it's too much? Like, you're complaining about money this entire time. You don't have money to pay for your treatment. You don't have money to pay for your treatment. You don't have money to pay for your treatment. You don't have money to pay for your treatment. It's a broken record. Yeah, I almost gave myself an earache there just repeating it to myself. These people are offering you an absurd amount of money to pay for your treatment if you produce any medical documentation from a credible doctor that you have said medical condition. Just produce that evidence. You know, you get all this money to pay for your medical treatment.
I can completely understand. I went through 2 years of fucking people like Mersh saying I was faking it.
Some ordinary gamers will also put $10,000 towards it.
Make it 100. Make it $1 million.
If you have cancer, if you prove
it. Make it 100. Make it $1 million. I still won't accept it. I mean, at that point, who can still believe you then? Don't you understand? Again, and I feel like I have no YouTube experience compared to Boogie. I have not been around for 15 years on YouTube. This channel was just created this month. But I feel like I knew this. That this does not make you look good. No matter how you try to see it, this does not make you look good at all. You look bad here.
This is bullshit. No. You got 25K sitting on the table. There's something going on here.
Yeah, there's something, man. I'm just exhausted. I'm done.
You just did a crypto scam.
I can
to make money
believe
'cause
I can believe this. I can believe that again. It's the live environment. He's horrible in this situation. He's got 3 people beating down his neck, maybe 4 now because Medicare stepped in. I can believe that he's really like drained from this situation. But then that begs the question of why he stays in it, right?
You said you're worried about cash. They're offering $25K.
Yeah,
You
this
get your
is
shit on
the
them.
point I was
The
making.
manipulation tactics from Boogie are in full swing. He starts saying he feels backstabbed.
I spent 2 years treating a disease that doesn't exist. These people used to be my friends, and I genuinely would have never believed it would even come to this. And I'm just rather be done, man. I'm good. I'm good.
You're playing this in some kind of backstab? I mean, anybody
No,
can run
not at all.
Nobody's dead.
Not at all.
Do you think I backstabbed you by having Destiny on?
No, not at all.
When that doesn't work, he starts suicide baiting.
He's planning on whoring out his girlfriend with OnlyFans.
No, that would involve being on the internet. You're describing things that involve being on the internet.
Okay, well, if you've got a backup plan for revenue, then what was this scramble to get revenue in the first place if it's
The
so
backup,
easy to
the
do?
backup plan is to just go ahead and sell my house and then give the money to the people that deserve it, and you're good to go.
You're gonna what? Live in an apartment?
Probably not.
He's so desperate for any out, Jim gives him the slightest opening, and he dives on it.
Like, I don't know how he manipulates everyone. He
There's
manipulates
no
me
manipulation
all
here.
the time.
Either he's either lying, which is terrible, or he's telling the truth and
Which I'm
actually or you're telling the truth and you have cancer, but you're being a stubborn fucking nerd.
Yes,
and
it's
you're
that
walking
one.
away-
It's that
you're
one.
walking away
I
from
am going to
25K.
have one, when I leave this f***ing internet, I'm going to have one goddamn thing I kept to myself. One goddamn thing, and that's my goddamn medical records. And I don't want one of you motherfuckers feeling sorry for me. I don't give a
Yeah, you do.
The money pot rose up to 75K because it's so obvious he's lying.
Buddha says he'll write an escrow right now if Boogie comes back and he'll up it to
It,
60K.
again, it just keeps coming back to that question of like why. And for most people, I don't think that question would even become a thing because most people don't have any obligation to showing anyone their medical records. But Boogie, when you've been begging on the internet for so long for help, in any which way, help, sympathy, and attention, really, for what ails you, right? You're basically you keep saying, feel bad for me because I have this or that or the other. In essence, that's the vibe. That's the vibe that a lot of people have felt about his content for a while. That it is just a constant cycle of him telling you to give him money because he can't manage it well, or because he is in some inexplainable amount of pain that you can't understand if you're skinny. And for the first time, he has the opportunity to cash in on that. He actually unironically has the opportunity to turn his pain and suffering into direct financial stimulus for himself. And all he has to do is just prove that the pain and suffering is real. And he can't seem to do that. I think that's what a lot of people don't like about this.
Okay.
Oh, he's not gonna. He's not gonna.
Wait, that means it's technically 75. We're almost to 100.
This is fucking ridiculous.
It took 7 hours of streaming this interrogation for Boogie to finally own up. In that time, there were so many lies, I couldn't even put them all in one video.
I'm gonna be so upset if he actually has cancer and he went through all this hell for no reason whatsoever. That's gonna be so
real fucking upset. You about to be real upset.
That's
No,
gonna
we're
be
not.
so
You're not going to show us anything, so we won't know nothing.
No, when I die,
How about this?
no,
Boogie?
this is
Instead of
something.
the actual
Hold on.
diagnosis, could you
Hold
show us
on.
the history of the
Hold on a second.
cancer?
Hold on a second. My medical records will be released. The day after I die, me and my brother have spoken about that. The day after I pass, I want you motherfuckers to know how wrong you were. So the day after I pass,
Even this seems like a bad strategy because, like, what does it matter to you? You will be dead. Or do you believe in afterlife then? Is that what you're saying? You believe in an afterlife? You believe you're going to go somewhere where you're going to be able to, like, lord over us and like, laugh at us being incorrect about this information? Or...
I don't give a
my medical
fuck.
records from
I would literally do a stream laughing at you if you die. Turn it down 80 grand, laughing at you, and so will most of the internet. No one will feel bad. I hate to ruin it for you. Nobody's gonna think it's anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You're acting as though you will eventually have the superior, the moral high ground or whatever out of this entire debacle. Like, I will win in the end. It's the Boogie anti-Light Yagami thing all over again. He's trying to do it. He's trying to be all like, and in the end, I will have the last laugh. Mwahahaha, when I am proven correct about my cancer diagnosis that you all invalidated and drove me into the grave because of your insistence on me lying about this thing that definitely ails me. And it's like, Boogie, you had the opportunity to prove it to us. For almost 100 grand, for more than 100 grand actually at this point, and you turned that down so that you could laugh at your funeral, so that you can't laugh at your funeral because when you're dead, you're dead. You know, you only really get one life. Let's be real. I'm sorry, that's really dumb. Everything, it doesn't make any sense, and it makes you look even dumber that you're trying to take this position.
Anything but funny. What do you think, Boogie? You think you watch down from heaven and he's like, oh, we were so wrong. He really did have cancer. How did we not know?
And Tommy C said so elegantly in like a few words what I said in a
You
lot.
haven't gone through all the steps, so you can't say you have the cancer or not, right?
Exactly.
And I find it very hard to believe, and I'm not willing to disbelieve that three doctors you said diagnosed you.
No, that's why.
None of them wanted to put it in the chart.
That's why it fucking sucks that I'm getting called by all of my favorite fucking creators a liar when I'm not fucking lying.
You lie.
His favorite creators, Mudahar, Keemstar Wings of Death, and Tommy C. I'm sorry, this is a big aside, but that's the circle that you surround yourself with, that you're like, these guys are my favorite.
I had 1.5 years ago about a diagnosis.
No, I didn't.
I can't believe my heroes.
My doctor told me I have cancer. God damn it!
The show ends with Muda calling for Boogie to get fired. Boogie gets paid $2,000 to $3,000 a month from the show. It's his main source of income.
I think Boogie's a complete liar, and I don't think he should be on the show. I think if you guys continue to pay him, you're supporting somebody that would blatantly lie about the most vile thing on the show. 100%. No, I feel like if you let Boogie on the show, you are supporting somebody that would blatantly lie about one of the most emotionally destructive things in any society. That's where I'm at least.
In the next episode, Boogie would come right out and say what everyone knew.
I've done a lot of soul searching since the last episode. We've been making some changes here around the house, and I've been trying to think of different ways that I could show everybody how sorry I am.
Be clear for the audience, what Boogie just said is that his video 2 years ago should have said, I have this disease. It may be the non-cancer type or the cancer type, but they're treating me for the cancer type. That's what the video should have been.
That's what the video exactly should have been.
He's still lying. In his tweet and in the video, he said he waited until it was confirmed.
I've known about this for a little over 6 weeks. That it was a probability, though I just got my official diagnosis.
Boogie's way to make up for it is to donate.
Ooh, I didn't. This is the plot thickens, the lore expands. I had not seen that clip. That's interesting. Let me see that one more time.
Exactly should have been.
He's still lying. In his tweet and in the video, he said he waited until it was confirmed.
I've known about this for a little over 6 weeks. That it was a probability, though I just got my official diagnosis.
That there was a probability, though I had just gotten my official diagnosis. I don't know. I'm honestly, because I really wish he would just not be so stubborn about the medical records thing, but that just makes him look worse to me, because I'm sorry, but if you have such a big slam dunk that you're hiding behind for no other reason than that you what did he say now? He wants his he wants to have something. Yeah, he wants his privacy, basically, is what he effectively said. He wants his privacy. It just doesn't make any sense when everything else about his life is public, I feel. And when this just does so much for him, it makes him so much money, he wins so much public favor and approval, or at least a little bit, he would really repair his image, I think. It would call into question why he waited so long. But again, if Boogie's really 2 or 3 good public-facing decisions away from completely restoring his image, in my opinion. They just need to be the right slam dunk ones, and it all starts with him releasing his medical records and just demonstrating, yes, I do in fact have a diagnosis for polycythemia vera. If he can't do that, he might be in an irreparable situation, to be completely frank with you. And I feel like with that being said, we might just be done with this video.
Right now,
is there going to be anything else said that's
regardless of whether or not you kick me off of the show, I'm donating $1,000 basically to St. Jude's. I'm pulling that trigger right now.
People are really mad about the 1K. How do you justify the 1K?
Because that's what I have left. I don't know what else I should give. I can't give away money.
But you told Coffee that you had no money left. And now there's $1,000?
Well, I got paid by you. And no, I showed him receipts for $3,000. There was $2,000 left.
Keem fires Boogie because the chat hates him so much, and then Boogie pretends to be religious. It is so cringe.
Twisted Slops says, if there's anything I want Boogie to do is to turn to God. If you need help with that, reply to my DM. I really want to help you. It will change everything. I forgive you because that's what Jesus taught me to do. I've prayed a lot in this last week, and it's not been helping. But I think if I do some good works, it might.
What do you mean you pray to? You're not religious.
Yeah, I told you a year ago. I found God again.
Oh.
God talk every day. I've told you this. Said it on the show.
Wait. I feel like the last 3 sentences just threw me through a massive loop. Yeah, man. I've been praying to God a lot recently, and I hear you, and it just hasn't been helping. Keemstar's like, I thought you weren't religious. And he's like, no, I am religious. I told you I converted a year ago. Like, but it's not working? Or I don't know. That feels so backwards to me.
I'm not exactly Christian.
Or not backwards. It's like somersaulty. It's like everything else with Boogie. It's like he tried to straddle a fence there where he didn't have to. He could have just been. He could have either committed fully to the like, I've been praying, it helps a lot. Then Keemstar calls him out on one of his lies, potentially, if that is a lie, it probably is. And then Boogie would just commit to the lie and just be like, yeah, no, 100%. I converted a year ago, and I even told you in DMs, bro. Like, pay attention. Come on, keep up. But instead he chose to like act as though it wasn't really helping. And still commit to, but I am a religious man. It just hasn't been helping. Now, you could argue on one hand, you could be like, well, he's just being authentic about his experience. Like, maybe he is genuinely religious. Like maybe everything he said is truthful, right? Maybe what he said at face value should be trusted. But given the fact that we know Boogie's lied, you just start to call everything out into question. This is the problem with lying. This is why you don't lie. It's because people just start hyper-analyzing everything you say.
I don't really subscribe to any particular subset of religion, but I do know there's a God. I do know there's a creator. And I speak with him.
So stupid, Boogie. It's
maybe I need Jesus.
It's dumb. I can't.
Boogie starts to have a meltdown.
Well, wait. I don't actually know. I don't know why Keemstar was saying that's dumb. Is Keemstar saying that like all religious people are dumb, or is Keemstar instead saying like it's hard to believe what Boogie said there? Because I don't know. If Boogie is actually religious, I don't see anything wrong. Like, if Boogie holds I am not religious, but if Boogie genuinely holds those beliefs, and he is also a religious person, those are two congruent religious beliefs. And maybe he did find God again. I don't know. But if we're just naturally being skeptical of Boogie because of his lies, and he's a person who's been known to lie, then I also understand that perspective, too.
Because of course, he's lost his job, he's been exposed, he's talking about himself like he's a rare Pokemon.
I'm in a very dangerous place. I'm a 400-pound, 50-year-old man. That's goddamn rare.
Boogie starts preaching about suicide, and nobody wants to hear it. So Boogie then threatens to end it all.
I'm just saying there are probably people out there watching this right now who are struggling with suicidal impulses. And if you're one of them, f***ing stick it out. That's all I'm trying to say.
You're not. Shut up. Oh my god. It's like, give me a fuck answer. Give me a fuck answer, guys. Give me a fuck suicide. My god. You were never suicidal. You love yourself way too much to ever kill yourself, okay? Way too narcissistic. You would never be suicidal. You'd let the world burn to ashes around you before you even considered hurting yourself any more than... I was assuming, but no. Yeah, like, Jesus.
Hey, I don't self-harm. I don't self-harm.
Whoa.
Okay, well, that was what my joke was going to be. I was saying any more than stuffing your mouth full with a cheeseburger. Like, that's what I was going to say. But yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
It is self-harm, motherfucker. That's why people like you do this. It is a form of self-harm, motherfucker. That's why we do it.
I don't even like the taste of food anymore.
Honestly, bro.
If you don't like the taste of food, why drink diet
Why do you
Mountain
miss
Dew
it?
instead of just drinking water?
Because it's a form of self-harm. Because I'm destroying
You
my
drink
body.
Diet Mountain. You go to the store and you spend money on a drink that you apparently don't like just to
Yes.
hurt yourself.
Just to hurt yourself.
Yes. You know, cutting is way cheaper, right?
Thank
Like
you.
one razor blade will last you a lifetime.
I used to
Saying, but I drink aspartame soft
You're
drinks.
encouraging people to cut their
Jesus
fucking arms.
Christ.
That's what I fucking heard. The guy who laughed at Donald Trump's assassination attempt is telling people to cut their fucking arms. Go fuck yourself. Oh, you want to see that? Hold on. Okay, I'll do it. Give me 30 seconds.
No.
Holy
wait,
shit! The
whoa,
next
what is he
era
doing?
of Boogie
Don't-
self-harm.
Oh, God.
No, he's waiting for you to tell him to stop. That's what he's doing.
This is where he
He's gonna
goes and gets a
come back
knife.
Hold it up.
Do not do
Hold on.
anything with that.
Yeah, he
No,
comes
no,
back
no,
and gets a
no,
fucking
no,
knife.
He wants me to. He told me to, right?
No,
Told me to.
no,
Told me to.
no.
Oh, this is Sports Man eating a
Put that away
sandwich.
right now.
Sports Man eating a sandwich, Destiny.
Put that away right
You
now.
fucking piece of shit.
Okay.
Jesus.
Okay. All right.
Boogie has lied about 3 major events: the swatting, the crypto scam, and the cancer. So now, just like the Reddit all those years ago, people start questioning the abuse, even though it's probably the only real story he's told.
It's a little different when it's Destiny coming in saying you're a liar. Prove that your dad made you jerk off.
Keemstar's fucking baby.
Prove something that happened in 1983. Prove it. Prove it. If you don't prove it, it can't happen. If you can't prove it, it didn't happen. I can't do that. I can't prove something that happened in 1983. I didn't have a cell phone in my pocket.
Okay, but you told me privately the reason why some of the stories, and I'm not going to leak anything, don't worry. But you told me why some of the stories are inconsistent and they don't match up.
Yes.
Why don't you just tell the
I
audience?
don't want to destroy a human life. Because I don't want to destroy someone's fucking life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life.
Yo, that
Because I don't want to
switch.
destroy somebody's life. Because I don't want
Yo, that switch up was unreal. Check this out again. I want to point this out. We'll get the full question again. The full context of the question asked. And his elegant answer followed up by his complete, like, 180 flip switch, kill switch answer.
Consistent and they don't match up.
Yes.
Why don't worry. But you told me why some of the stories are inconsistent and they don't match up.
Yes.
Why don't you just tell the
I
audience?
don't want to destroy a human life. Because I don't want to destroy someone's fucking life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life.
Boogie, why don't you just take the mic and say what you want to say about this whole situation?
God, I'm so
therapy. I hate this. I hate it. I hate this show. I hate breathing air. I hate being alive. I'm in so much pain. I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand this. I can't stand this. I've ruined my life.
I know you can't talk about your sister.
Okay, I have headphones in, and that still woke up my dog. That was very loud.
You would talk about your dad. And
He's obviously, by the way, if it sounds like I'm callous, I'm not trying to be. It sounds like he's having a very hard time on this show. I think that much is obvious. It's so much of like what he shouldn't be doing that it's hard to feel sympathy for him, because again, he keeps putting himself in this situation, and at a certain point you do have to wonder if he likes it or is like playing to a bit, right? Like he could just not be here. What is he doing this broadcast for? Why is he on this show called Lolcow Live, where he is a self-admitted lolcow degrading himself? And I get that that's his bit. You could argue like that's been a part of his humor since the beginning of it. That's been a part of his career since the beginning of it, right? With the Francis videos. But at a certain point, I think every adult has to make the conscientious decision for themselves to surround themselves with people that want to see them succeed, or at least don't want to see them train wreck and or crash and burn, so to speak, which is absolutely what this show is based around, right? Lolcow Live is literally a show about laughing at lolcows. I think it becomes difficult for Boogie to play into his normal persona of sad guy gets attention and sympathy in this environment, which he's putting himself in. Yeah, full stop. I don't think many people, or maybe like people are fed up as well. People are definitely very exhausted by this point at his continual episodes.
And mother all day. So will you address those issues? Because
yes, my mother twisted my fucking balls. That's part of the abuse. And she twisted my balls and my dick. And she told me that sex was disgusting and awful. And she told me that only disgusting, awful people had it.
Okay, but then well, let's not talk about any of it.
No, my dad masturbated in front of me and showed me pornography and asked me if I want to join in and encouraged me to touch him, and I fucking did! I did! I fucking did! I fucking did! I fucking did!
No.
There, can we be done? Can we be done with it? Can we be done with it?
I feel bad for him, but he brought it upon himself. No one trusts him with anything. He makes him read the donations.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's very evident that something actually happened. It's hard not to feel bad for the guy, right? But it's the prolonged engagement, it's the leaning on it as a permanent feature of himself that he can't, shouldn't, and is not personally even motivated to move past. The constant appealing to victimhood, the constant need for other people's approval, but then throwing it to the wayside when it isn't the approval that he seeks. And the snakiness, right? The like, I can't trust that this is the real Boogie. Like, what is the real Boogie, right? When I'm seeing, parts of him as this like happy-go-lucky guy juxtaposed with a very angry persona that takes pleasure in killing people, even though like, yeah, it seems to be that he likes to get, or I shouldn't say, it's like people like to fuck with him, but maybe he likes to get fucked with, It's one of those situations, as weird or rare as those may be, where someone is an easy target, but then they kind of make themselves an easy target, and you have to wonder who's really getting fucked with at the end of the day. Does the person seek out this reaction or attention from other people? Yeah, I think this is like why people have a natural aversion to snitching, or to snitches more specifically, is people have like this hard time believing that the person that's ratting you out is doing it for the best intentions. And in this case, it's like people are having a hard time that believing that Boogie, in telling us all of these things about his life and being vulnerable, that he's being genuine, that he's being like honest when he's sharing these experiences, especially when so many things about them can be very easily unraveled, and he's done no favors garnering any sympathy, what with all the freaking the sugaring and the constant 180ing on his personality, and the general like the general slip-ups in his demeanor towards other people, when again they have shown that they are not there to just serve him constantly. When he finds himself in a situation when he can't like read the room well enough to identify that there's someone in there that just isn't going to play ball, or they're not going to be on Boogie's side, he just can't seem to like handle that situation well. That person becomes someone that he is like very, very eager to please, so much so that it makes him look like a complete rug that everybody's making fun of. And then when that doesn't work anymore for him, when he's realizing that he's not getting the reaction that he wants out of that situation, he'll go the full like Willie Mack said, I think he said like the American Psycho. He'll go like full schizo posting, like I take pleasure in killing you, and that just also is not a good look whatsoever. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's all I wanted to say about this subject. Yeah, Boogie's in a rough one, boys. I don't know how he's gonna recover, but we wish him luck. Godspeed, you know.